Hello, bunny buddies! We are live. Today is going to be an unusual Saturday because, sadly, Jack and Silly are both busy out of town on their own thing. So, I am doing a solo stream today like I did on Thursday. I will spend the first 5 or 10 minutes posting everything on social media so people can hear of the news, and it gives you guys time to show up. And Hattie gets the point for being first. Glad to see you show up soon. So soon. Let me do my mandatory emojis I like doing. There we go. And Cody has shown up. There we go. Hello, Cody. Hello, Hattie. Glad to see you guys shown up so soon. I know I was a bit late. I had to deal with my allergies because I was sneezing my head off. And then on top of that, it's just been a really busy day today. So it took up a bit of time, but now I'm live. Let me share the link. Glad to hear that you're keeping an eye out and everyone's watching those notifications. Because it's still taking a while for me to stabilize my schedule. Let's see. But the more I practice it, the more I'll get used to it. Okay, I copied the link. Let's post that over on Twitter. I hope you're all doing okay. Hope you're having a good day this weekend. Okay. I have a lot planned for today. Even though Jack and Silly aren't here, I think I have a lot planned that'll be fun to do. Nerf this. Do description good? Yes. Okay. Tweet. And there's the tweet. I hope there aren't any typos. There we go. Alrighty, let me go back to the stream so I can see you guys in the chat. There we go. Alright, so now time for me to begin the drawing. So I'm going to warm up because I haven't actually been able to draw anything today. You can see I've got some line art already started up on this character here. I can see what you mean about Bucky O'Hare. I've heard people say that before. Hello, Alex. Welcome here as well. I'm glad to see you guys here already so soon. But no, this is a Patreon prize for someone who wanted to see Diva from Overwatch as a rabbit. So I was happy to oblige because I am biased towards anything that has rabbits in it. So I have mostly finished her line art. There's some fine details I'll add later. But I'm actually going to be moving over to the mech that she has, this giant machine behind her. I'm going to be doing some of that to warm up my mind, warm up my hand. Alex is at Comic-Con. Well, then I'm jealous, because it's been a while since I was at conventions. That's cool. I hope you have fun. Hope the trip to the convention is going well. And all of that. Be sure to have fun. Pace yourself and have fun. Oh, that's right. You said you would be busy today. That's going to take up the day. I'm glad you visited, Alex. It's good that people are still able to come in and just say hi before getting back to their plans. Because even a quick hello is better than nothing. Okay. So, again, this is mostly warm-up, and then later on we will get to requests, which I have the list of. I believe Hattie was next. Though, Alex, if you're able to show up later on, if you have time, you were technically on the list first, so I can get to you if you're able to show up. But don't worry. I always keep track, and if someone's not able to make it, I'll just get to it on the next stream. Which, lately, I'm able to do more streams. And I'm happy about that. So, let's get to this. One thing I've been doing lately when I have a really big picture to work on and I don't want to stress over the details is that you'll notice I have kind of a faded layer that I'm editing first. I lowered the opacity on that one. And there's less pressure if I do all the editing on that layer first. And then, when I feel ready, I'll start doing the line art. So right now, I'm going to constantly just chisel away at this sketch. Because her mech has a whole lot of details. It looks really complicated, but really cool. Okay, and I'm already noticing I'm going to redo some of these details because they weren't quite right yet. I'm going to add a little triangle to keep track of the little holes for the Gatling gun. There we go. And again, it's a sketch, so I'm not really worried about getting the details perfect on the first try. I just want to plan everything out and save the fine details for when I do line art. This way I don't feel as much pressure on a big drawing. Again, this is a Patreon prize. I do art raffles every week over on Patreon, and this is one of the prizes. Someone asked for Diva as a rabbit. And honestly, I've always admired the Overwatch characters from afar, because I haven't had the chance to play it at all. But I really enjoy the animations they've made. The character designs are wonderful. So this is a good, it's a good opportunity for me to actually draw them, so. Unless you work on video game mechs, it will never really be easy with detailed work. Yeah, in general, it's never really easy, but you do get the hang of it the more tricks you do, and I am more and more considering the idea of doing concept art freelance for companies, because I got a ArtStation account. I'm preparing my portfolio, which isn't really presentable yet. I need to clean it up a lot. But yeah, that's on my mind, and so the more practice I get, the better. Not just for experience, but also it's kind of fun. I've heard about Inside. Yeah, I haven't actually played it yet. In fact, I don't even remember much about it. I haven't had the chance to. So many things on my plate that I want to do. Heck, I've even bought some games from Steam that I haven't even played yet. Jack and Silly talked me into getting Magicka, which they've said is very good. Magicka 2, which I'll find out eventually when I can finally get around to playing it. But yeah, there's so many things on my mind of what I want to do. And honestly, that's fine with me. I don't mind having a ton of things to do, and some of them may not happen until a year later. It's fun for me to brainstorm on stuff like that and just kind of daydream about plans. I like that. To me, that's fun. But yeah, right now, I'm basically just letting myself warm up to this sketch of Diva's mech. I don't know if it directly is influenced by Elder Scrolls, the Magicka 2 game, but I know it's I think it's more like Gauntlet. The Gauntlet games where it's a top-down, you have the grid system as your characters are moving around. That's what I believe Jack and Silly described. They've actually tried it out and played a little. I have not. Which, honestly, I think it's going to be funnier when we finally play together, and I'm the noob who's just like, what are the buttons? What do I do? Explode something. To me, that's actually kind of fun. I prefer that. I like being a goofball when it comes to games. Teamwork is good. I like that. I'm not the type to troll, but I'm also not the type to really stress over any of it. I like being silly. Not to be confused with our silly. Okay. Got a really weird angle for this mech here, so I might redraw things a couple times over and over. Hey, Soko! Welcome aboard! I'm glad to see you. It's been a while. Yep, I'm drawing Diva as a bun-bun. Because over on Patreon, someone requested this, and I am very happy about it. Yeah, we'll see how it is. Even if the game punishes me harshly, and I explode, and Silly and Jack get mad at me, I will still be laughing hysterically, because that's just what I do in games. Because to me, a big part of multiplayer gaming is the entertainment side of it, how fun it is, and I enjoy being able to like tell the story afterward of like, we were running into this forest and this team came up on us, and I was like, I'll charge the guy in the front, you know, Leroy Jenkins style. And like, to me, telling that story is the fun. It's almost more fun than winning. It is more fun than winning in my mind. I'd much rather have a funny story to tell. I kind of have that attitude with D&D at times, back in the past when I played it in college. I miss that. I do miss that. And yes, Soko, I will give them a high five. They're actually a friend I knew from high school and college, Brandon. He recently heard about my Patreon and joined. And so, yeah, now I'm able to do drawings for him over there. Because literally every tier level over on Patreon, even just at $1, I include people then in the art raffle. So, basically the art raffle includes line art with cel-shaded color. And if you go up to $5, you then get a background. And because this is a very big mech, it's complicated and whatnot, this background is the mech. I'm including it that way. I try to find little shortcuts that'll help people get a good prize. And when drawing this mech, I'm constantly reminded of Ghost in the Shell. I recently rewatched that anime. It's a blast from my childhood. I loved it when they played that on Adult Swim, Ghost in the Shell. And alrighty, Hattie. Glad you let me know that you are currently going away from the keyboard. Yeah, I loved the Tachikoma. Little robots that have, like, silly voices. They were a great addition to that show. Actually had a lot of thought-provoking moments with them, too. Because they had such a highly advanced AI, and their personalities were so unique. And I drew them a couple times when I was rewatching the anime. So now, coming back to this other mech, it's giving me those vibes. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the series. I've seen the movies. And I've yet to see the live action. I'll judge that when I get to it. Honestly, I'm not too worried about that, if it's going to be good or bad. I don't mind. But yeah, I'm talking about the anime. The series itself. Because I have the first season, Standalone Complex. I have that on DVD, which I'm very thankful for, because I love it. And I don't think I fully appreciated it when I watched it as a kid. I was in, like, middle school and high school when it first aired on Adult Swim. And it was always at, like, 2 a.m., so I wasn't really awake anyway. And so now that I, earlier this year, finally rewatched it, I was like, oh, there's so many details here that I finally understand what's going on. And it's like, I was really impressed, too. Excuse me. It makes me want to watch the other seasons and see what I think. So I believe they had a 2 and a 3rd season. 2nd and 3rd season, I believe. I know the theme song for the 2nd. I don't remember if there's a... I think there's a 3rd. I think there is. The music in that game... Or game. As I'm drawing a game. Freaking show. Yeah. The music in that show alone was amazing. And it's surprisingly good in English and Japanese. Usually, I have to admit, I get a little biased there too. But yeah, I easily enjoy it in both. Maybe that's nostalgia kicking in. I don't know. Let's see. Hattie's saying that you can go get some pop. I don't usually refer to it as pop. I call it soda. But cool. That's up to you, Hattie. Hattie, you make up your mind there. I don't want to miss the stream. Not really in the mood to go out. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. If you're used to having pop all the time and you want to change up things and watch the stream, I would like that. But I understand also if you would like some pop. It's fun calling it that. I'm so used to just saying soda. Soda pop. Oh, these mech legs are at such a weird angle. They've got so much whoa, wrong button. They have so much three-dimensional shape to them. Let me show if I can understand the language. Actually, I still notice a difference in the emotion. Some of the characters feel different when you watch it in English or Japanese. And so when you get closer to what the original creators intended, where they intended the character to have this kind of voice because they would have this kind of personality. And then when it comes to English, they'll then change it sometimes. And then you can get the personality in a different light. So that's why some people would prefer to watch to read the subtitles and listen in the original language. I honestly kind of agree that it's kind of nice to just watch and listen without having to read. I can admit sometimes I have that mood as well. Again, I think it's different for everyone, and you should just stick to what you enjoy the most. And sometimes your opinion can change there too. I've had that. I know I've not usually been the type to be picky, but over time I start to realize it can be kind of nice to watch it in Japanese. You know, it's honestly, it's everybody's got their own preference, so just stick with what you actually like. Request done as well. Yeah, that is also a good point, because eventually I will get to the requests after I've warmed up. So if you're interested in requests, that's a good point, Hattie. It's like watch and read. Yeah, it can be a bit of multitasking to try and watch and read at the same time. It definitely makes it more streamlined, makes it easier to only have to focus on one set of visuals and one set of audio. Yeah, I can understand that. And I honestly have plenty of moods where I'm like, I'm not in the mood to read. I have done it, though, where I've watched it in Japanese instead. Like I did that with Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. I watched their stuff in Japanese. And I've seen it in English. I like both. But I was surprised how much I enjoyed the Japanese version. So, I mean, it's like just, yeah. I don't think people should really make a huge deal out of it. Because, I mean, yeah. They're usually still pretty good with the English dubs. Usually. I mean, like Full Metal Alchemist, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun. There's so many where Wolf's Rain, where they got the English really well. So, yeah. Honestly, at the end of the day, just stick to what you actually like. Don't worry about the huss and the fuss and the stuff that people say. It's like, what? Why? Just enjoy the show. If you're a fan of it, that's what matters. So just enjoy it. Such complicated details here. I think I'm getting the pose down finally. I started this last night. Obviously, I didn't start it just now because I had something for the thumbnail. So I worked on Diva here, and yeah, it took a while to figure out what the pose was going to be. I have leftover layers underneath of what my first attempt was going to be this pose, where the mech was, you know, full view. She was really small on the page, and kind of to save time, but also to show a close-up, I then changed it to this, because I'm like, I want to zoom in a little bit. It makes it a little easier to me, because you can see details easier. It'll also help me save some time. So, yeah. Okay. I also might do a little bit of some shortcuts where, because the mech is further away, the mech is in the background, I might be able to get away with some blur, where the camera's quote-unquote out of focus on the mech because it's focusing on Diva. It'll be a little bit of experimenting back and forth, because on one hand you want it to look right, and so you'll kind of have to figure out which parts should be blurry and which shouldn't. But just as much, you know, it's all about art, so if you want to have an effect, even if it's not realistic, it ultimately comes back to what do you think actually looks good. So, yeah, we'll see what I go with. Half the time I'm not even sure. You have to let yourself experiment as the picture progresses, because you might discover, like, oh, that actually looks way better than what I was planning. So, okay, I should probably label my layers more. This is the line art for Diva. There you go. Got your line art. That's the Diva sketch. And now I think on a separate layer, I'm going to do the line art for her mech. Art for mech. I don't remember if her mech has a name. It might. I know Overwatch usually has really thorough backstories and such, but I don't remember, because I have not yet had the chance to play it directly. Also, let me know if the music or volume is a little off. I always double check if I can remember, because I want this to be easy for you guys to listen to. Especially as I ramble. As I ramble, I sometimes get loud, and I want to make sure the balance is right, because I've had that mistake before. Okay, okay. I think I have enough of the line art planned out for this mech that I can go ahead and move on to the real line art. So, okay. I might move the line art to be on this. Yeah. Okay, I think that's good. I'm definitely going to keep the lines thin on the mech because the mech is further away from her. I think the line art was already what was it? What was it like? The size was like 5. It was a really small brush because I'm trying to get thin lines that look accurate. Looking at Cody saying that my voice is a little low. Well, that's kind of surprising. I was afraid I was too loud. So if you find me kind of quiet, I can move the mic a little bit. I don't want to have to go into settings if I can help it, but if I need to, I can adjust the volume. Is this any better? Hopefully I'm easy enough to hear, especially as I turn my head throughout the stream. Or if you mean that my music is too loud and I need to remain the same. Okay, Cody's saying that's better. Thank you, Cody. That's good to know. I'm glad you corrected that. Or helped me to correct that, I should say. But okay. I'm doing a tiny bit of corrections on Diva's headset because I realized she has rabbit ears in this one, so I had to make it fit on a rabbit's head shape. Can't hear the music. Well, the channel itself kind of has a variety of styles. Oh, you can definitely hear that. That's a little loud. It'll come and go. Sometimes the music will be loud and then it'll play a soft song. It's mainly there for background ambience. If I ever am able to do some music streams where I write some music for you guys, that will be a different ball game. Because then I won't have background music. I'll only have the music I'm working on. But that will be... I don't know when it'll happen, actually. I've got so much art that I need to finish. Lots of raffles and commissions. So I don't know when I'll get to the whole music thing, but we'll see. It also depends on if you guys are interested. If you guys want to hear me and watch me write some music, then we can get to that one day. Checking my messages. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. No biggie, though. I'm more concerned with hearing you. Gotcha. Yeah, it's... The primary here is the actual talking I'm doing as opposed to the background music. I used to play the background music in my computer, in the internal audio, and balance the tracks that way. Now I just play it on my other computer and let it echo through the room. Because it's supposed to be background anyway, and this is less processing for my computer. Okay. Yeah, this song's definitely a bit louder. Moving on to the barrels of this Gatling gun. Now, when it comes to machinery, I probably could get away with a little bit of copy-paste. Because it's machinery. They use a lot of identical parts, and it literally makes sense to do that. I don't know if I will, though. Just sometimes, you know, it can be kind of time-consuming to copy and paste an object and make it look right. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. And actually, the barrel here might warrant some copying, because it's just 3 pieces. And I really need to make sure that it looks right, because this is going to be near the focal point. People are going to immediately look at Diva, and then right next to her is the barrel of the gun, so yeah. If this gives me too much trouble, I might go ahead and do some shortcuts. I think I can manage here. A lot of the times, I keep my lines broken. I I know plenty of people like the... what do you call that method? I've seen a lot of artists use it, where as they're doing line art, they'll draw a line, and then press Ctrl-Z, and then draw a line again, and keep doing it over and over until one line looks perfect. I do that a lot myself, but sometimes I work faster if I let myself do broken lines, and then, like, clean it up afterward. Sometimes I keep my flow. I can concentrate better and get into the mood of the picture better if I'm just doing a bunch of little broken lines. Line symmetry. I know that's a technique. I mean, because a lot of people are trying to make sure that lines are looking right. It's more that, like, if they're trying to get the perfect smile on a character, I probably did it some with Diva here, where if I were to try it again, I'd be drawing a line and go, that's not right. Control-Z. A little bit better, Control-Z. Control-Z. And they'll do this over and over until they finally get the line they want. And they'll be like, there we go. And then they'll continue, and they'll go through the whole picture just with their hand right next to Control-Z. Just going, doop, doop, done. Doop, doop, done. And just go through the picture. I probably do a mix of both. I can't deny it. I probably do. And as I look at this, I think I'm going to need to thicken out the lines because next to her, these lines are going to be a little too thin. Let's see if I can do this. It's a little cheat. I don't know if it'll look right, but okay, that works. That's not too distracting. I made a copy of the lines, and I'm trying to slide them over next to each other without looking blurry. That helped. That helped a little bit. I do this shortcut with a lot of text. Whenever I'm making thumbnails, I do the same thing. There we go. Means I'm going to bring my paintbrush to maybe 5. Let's see if that's big enough. Yeah, that's better. There we go. Let's see. Right now it is about 8:30 for me in Central Time. When I hit the 9 hour... When I hit not 9 hours... Don't tempt me. I've done long streams. Don't tempt me. When I hit 9 o'clock Central Time, then I'll probably take a tiny break to eat because I haven't eaten much today. Speaking of, I'm going to go ahead and take a drink because I'm thirsty. But then I can move over to requests. Ike has showed up. Hello, Ike. I know for you it's a little earlier in the day, but good to see you here. I saw your message from my phone over on Telegram. Didn't know if you were referring to this stream, and so I'm glad you were. Working on another art raffle picture that is due. This is from Overwatch. I'm drawing Diva and her mech. Only 3:30. Oh, man. Yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't up at that hour sometimes over here. I get in workaholic mood, and sometimes I'll just be... Like with this picture here with Diva, when I did all the line art and planning, it was probably close to like 3 a.m. when I was finally done. And like, okay, time to go to bed. It's so easy for me to do. It's a leftover habit from college. Just a bit of a night owl. As long as you are enjoying yourself, Ike, that's what matters. As long as you all can hear everything okay, everything's working out, that's what matters. Okay. So... Excuse me. Ha! Finally, Jack and Sil are not here to ignore my burps. They're always trying to claim ownership. I don't know why we have that ongoing thing. It's fine. I'll still never know who did that original burp. In case anyone's not knowing what's going on, originally, one of our early streams, the first times I had Jack and Silly in the voice chat as we did this, one of the times there was an enormous burp. It peaked the mic, I think, and it was just really loud. And I don't know who did that burp, because each of them immediately claimed the other person did it. And since then, they just immediately jump back into the argument. And it's just like, I can't tell. They're both doing a good enough job of claiming innocence. And it's like, we now have an inside joke about burps. And I don't know who did it. I may never know. But they can't stop my burps here. I am a dictator. I can keep all the burps I want. It's true. I actually tried not to burp too often, but it is funny when they do. When they happen. Yeah. I like this music. Before I tried that thing of playing the birds and nature sounds during that last chill stream. I'm going to probably continue to experiment with that because a part of me likes the really calm, chill experience of streaming while calm and not rambling too fast. We could try that more often. And then other times the music gets that loud. I get in the overly hyper mood. That might be a little loud. I don't want it to overpower my voice. You guys are always welcome to shout at me if I play the music too loud. You are always welcome to do that. Keep my microphone in check. Keep my audio in check. It's pesky. So pesky. Mind of its own. It waits for when I am calm and comfortable, and then it turns the volume up. Okay. Now, the good thing about this picture that'll save time is that my... Good, Ike is saying hi to the chat. Say hi, everyone. You guys are welcome to talk. You don't have to feel shy. Honestly, there's no judging here. We are very goofy. We are random. As long as you guys are friendly to each other, you don't spam, you don't yell or... I don't know, try to keep things away from private topics, because we try not to get into personal stuff. You know, we want this to be relaxed, carefree, fun. And sometimes educational, if I talk about random topics I'm drawing. It kind of happens on its own anyway, whether or not I plan it. I'll just sometimes notice something and I'll try to give advice. I usually save that for the Friday streams for Patreon, but sometimes I'm like, I want to mention something. Part of me really wishes I could be a teacher. So Patreon's my jumpstart there. And so far I really like it. I'm actually surprised at how much I'm getting comfortable with it already. I know I have a lot to learn, but I'm starting to get comfortable with it. I'm starting to realize how I sound on camera, and probably the only thing I want to work on is slowing down my conversation. I don't know. At the same time, if it's fun, then I'll ramble faster. Who knows? Depends on what I'm talking about. But yeah. 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 Gosh, this line art. I've got a really weird camera angle for the mech here, so I'm trying to not cheat too often. I mean, there's probably someone out there who would notice all the little tiny mistakes I'm making, but this is fun anyway. And also, don't worry, Ike, if you notice that no one's responding just yet in the chat, we like to lurk as well, because this often becomes somewhat of a podcast. We've had lots of topics brought up, especially when Jack and Silly are here. But in general, I will sometimes do it as well, where I just go into a long, drawn-out tangent talking about whatever's on my mind. And yeah, it ends up becoming more of a podcast. And people just listen in as they're busy. That's fine too. Because I've honestly done the exact same thing in streams. When watching, I've done that. He's fine. At the same time, people are always welcome to ask me a question. whether art-related or just for fun, that is also welcome. I want to keep these fun, as if we're all just hanging out, so that is also welcome. What's your prize? Yay! I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I will definitely look forward to finally hearing some of these pictures you have in mind. You've mentioned the one with the bus. I like that idea. So, whichever one you want first. You know, I'm pretty used to juggling multiple pictures at once. I'm working on probably 4 or 5 different pictures for gain. I have several art raffle pictures, this being one of them. And I've got a lot of people in line for commissions. I've got one commission that started, which is an icon over on Twitter. In case you're watching this, hello! Yeah, Cody. Plenty of times when we end up chatting the night away. Exactly. Yeah, I've annoyed my family plenty of times where I stay up way too late because I have a lot to talk about and we're jumping between topics or simultaneously talking about 4 things at once. The whole point's for fun, so no rules. Well, not many rules. Which, speaking of, eventually I'll need to figure out how to make a bot. Silly sent me a link. I'll need to investigate it more. I like to do research now when it comes to adding new things into my mix. Like when I bought a webcam or a microphone, I did a lot of research first to see reviews and giving when people give advice on, oh, by the way, if this goes wrong, be sure to do this. I like to do that a lot before I ever get anything, because then you feel more comfortable when you have that new thing. And so if I get that bot that does automated things in our chat, I want to make sure I know how to use it before I try it, because bringing an AI into the system, oh man, that'd be crazy. You know, gotta make sure I know it. Okay, saying you talked to Geen the last couple of days. Oh, don't worry, your English is fine. No, that's fine. As it is, honestly, my English is sometimes terrible. Because I either get distracted, or I'm busy multitasking, or both. So my English is also terrible, and it's the only language I speak. So I can't even speak Pig Latin. And Spanish is kind of weak for me. Mi español es muy mal. So yeah, I have no room to talk. The fact that you're bilingual, at minimum, I mean, you may even know more. I know some places they try to get people to at least learn 3 languages because of the neighboring areas. So in that case, I am quite jealous because I need to learn that. Making a bot. First step, get out blueprints, then toolbox, and finally begin assembly. Oh goodness. You know me, I would probably spend most of my time on the blueprints because I'd be like, ooh, I gotta plan out what this looks like. It's gotta be a rabbit, but it's gotta look cool. And like, where would I store the turrets? And like, does this thing have a jetpack? 1 week later, it's like, guys, I'm taking forever on this. Now I'm almost tempted to draw a robot rabbit. Jess has shown up. Welcome aboard, Jess. I'm glad you could make it. I was quite late in starting this stream, and I apologize to everyone in their respective time zones for that. My house is a very busy place. I'm not complaining, per se, but there is a lot that happens here at home. And so, it is quite an endeavor just to get myself to get in the room, close my door, and get on the computer. That is an endeavor. It's not a bad endeavor. I actually really enjoy having, my family to talk to. But it also slows me down. Slows me down. Aw, thank you, Jess. You're giving me that support. It makes me happy. You guys are always welcome to like and subscribe and comment and stuff. What else do YouTubers say? That stuff. Go to youtube.com/com.penmark for all your rambling drawing needs. Is it okay to go and come back and don't want to miss requests? You want to be the first for it? Well, I would always say play this in the background is usually the best way to handle it, because while I do try to stick to a schedule, as I just mentioned with the whole starting on time and not being late, sometimes we can get into long conversations or have other things happening. So my bet is like, yeah, it's always fine to multitask. I know plenty of people like to listen, but also work on things and do other stuff. That's fine. I'm not offended by that at all. But having the stream open will still help you keep track of everything. That's usually my advice. And it makes it a little easier when you have audio to listen to like this, with me rambling. And burping. And singing. I won't sing too much, I promise. And I understand, Jess. You're in your own time zone. Probably have your own plans, too. I don't know what time it is for you over there, so, yeah. Don't worry, I understand. The good thing is that you were able to show up. I know Alex did that earlier, because he has plans. And he's all the way across the ocean. The other ocean. I've got people all over the world. It makes me happy. Go and get pop. Oh, yeah, going for an errand run to get that pop. That's fine. That soda pop. I mean, honestly, I do long streams, if you guys haven't already noticed. If you were to swim down this stream, it would take you a while. You would need to bring snacks, as I do with my own stuff, so that's fine. But I also try to keep to my system of how things are run, because, yeah, I'm trying to make things stable, predictable enough that it's comfortable, all that jazz. So, and there's never too much pressure, because I'm always doing another stream. So if I ever am not able to get to somebody, I always come back to it later. So, no worries there. Almost 4 a.m. over there. Yep. Yeah, there's actually have a large number of people here who are European in my fan base, so to speak. It's really cool. Especially since I really want to go to Europe one day. I've never been. The only time I've gone out of the country from the States is, all that jazz. I said jazz. But anyway, jazz hands. I have been to Panama. That is the only other country I've been to. Because back in middle school, my parents made me go to church, and there was a church trip. And they had one free spot because someone had canceled at the last minute. And my family was like, hey, Richard, you should go. And I was like, what? So then I went to Panama with the church trip. And it was really fun, actually. I really enjoyed it. I was so nervous right before going. But once I finally went, it was actually really freaking fun. Yeah, I really want to go to Europe. I'm going to need to get my health up because my energy does not last very well. But, oh, I want to travel so badly. Which, speaking of, that's why Jack and Silly are not here currently. Because they both are off doing things. Jack went across the country. He is at Furry Convention, which I'm also jealous of. Again, I want to go to conventions. I want to go more often. We even have one here that I missed. But I think I can make it to the anime fest, A-Fest that we have. I think I can make that one. At the bare minimum. Let's see. Here we go. Trying to get these details right. So this has got a big exhaust port. It's not an exhaust port, it's the intake. I think that's what the technical term is for this machinery. Wherever you've got a type of engine, and you've got the front of the engine, where you've got that little intake. Yeah, I think that's what this is. It looks like it. For like a jet engine. That's what it looks like. Let's see. I don't need to get hung up on details, but I'm also a bit of a perfectionist. I get over-analyzing. And probably my best advice there when it comes to being a perfectionist and overworking something, just let yourself, like, compromise. Sometimes just do a shortcut and leave it at that and move on to the next picture or next part of the picture. Because, I don't know, the quicker you can go, it's never going to be perfect. Because even, like, I am getting proud of my artwork, but at the same time, there's plenty of times where I get frustrated with something and go, oh, I wish I could do that better. That's pretty normal. Let's see. Jess is saying, should go for a con together once. Saying, go. Exactly. Like, that has been my best advice, is like, when you can go to a convention with people you know, even if it's just someone online, that does help because you have company. From my experience, though, a lot of conventions, you can still have a ton of fun on your own, because I've done that. I've done both. And yeah, for me, it was really, really relaxing and like rejuvenating to be at a furry convention and go, wow, this many other people like the same thing as me. Like, it was so exhilarating, but also calming. It was just so nice. It was so nice. It was so pleasant. It was exciting. See, Ike is saying that a guy from Europe who met you. Yeah. So this tells us, yeah, let's go there. Some cities. I think I know who you're talking about, Ike. Yeah, I'm extremely thankful because currently travel is difficult for me. And, you know, life changes. Eventually, if I can get a decent sleep schedule, that will probably make a big difference. But, you know, it's one thing at a time. I'm not stressed over it. That's kind of the thing I'm more worried about, is just not stressing. Even if I have to take an extra hour to watch YouTube or something to let my mind calm down and ease before I go to bed, that honestly feels more important to me. So, I don't know. Everybody's got their own schedule they gotta follow, and like what feels comfortable. So there's that too. Oh, I hear you, Jess. There's, especially when you're on social media. Oof. I totally noticed something that's off topic, but I need to correct it. The camera, the brightness and contrast is bugging me. I don't know if it bothers you guys, but I need to adjust this. So we're doing a quick little behind the scenes. I need to adjust the lighting. I'll do it in real time. Ooh, that's color's super warm now. I don't know if I need it that warm. Let's bring down the white balance a tiny bit. Let's bring down the brightness a bit because I'm really washed out. Okay, that's helping. I'm gonna bring it a little lower. It's a really good camera. I actually can't complain that much, but I'm still adjusting that. I think that's better. You guys can let me know if you'd prefer the lighting to be different. But from what I see, I didn't want it to be as bright as it was. I might up the contrast a tiny bit. That's way too much. It's actually kind of funny looking. I like that. Okay, that's a little better. That's a little better. So I'm trying not to look too washed out. My lighting is not professional. It's literally a lamp that I bought for $5 at Walmart. So that's what my lamp is here. It is what it is. I'm not too worried, but now that I have this webcam, I want to actually adjust that. Wait. I want to do a request for me. Request to learn art. You look. Oh, I would really like that. That puts me on the spot. I'm happy. I don't usually get presents that often either. I mean, you can keep it a surprise. I'm a little predictable in the good way of if you draw anything rabbit related, I'm usually gonna like it. Part of that's probably that, like a bit of like, I wish I could have a rabbit, but I've only ever had cats. So, you know, one day maybe I can finally have my own little bunny buddy, actual bunny. Maybe I'll even set up a bunny cam. I've seen someone do that over on Twitch where they had a separate webcam just for the rabbit in their little pen. Like, maybe I can do that someday. Who knows? But, oh, don't put yourself down, Jess. That's not allowed here. Gotta be positive. I can understand not being happy with the picture. I have that all the time. But don't put yourself down. Especially when you haven't even done the drawing. Don't follow that trap. I've done it before. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. I think what I tend to do to get out of the mentality of being harsh on my own art is I kind of suspend judgment and let other people say what they will. And the people who seem supportive of you, listen to them. It can be, sometimes a bit of a, oh, well, if someone says something bad, they're telling the truth. Everyone else is lying. But if you follow that rabbit hole, it's going to be very unhappy. You're not going to feel motivated. You're not going to get any productive feedback. So to me, listen to people who are trying to help you improve, and the ones who you're comfortable around, listen to them. Sometimes people can be overly harsh, or they're suggesting a goal that you don't like. But honestly, it's better to just let yourself listen to others, and the ones who make you comfortable, listen to them and improve that way. Because otherwise, you're too harsh on yourself. I understand that, Jess. Trust me. I am a very self-conscious person, but I've realized what helps me stay motivated. Hey, Max, welcome aboard. I have my mic is partially in front of my second screen, so it's kind of hard to see the chat. You guys see me moving my head around in strange ways. It's because I'm trying to see the chat. Maybe I slide the window over a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Gotta find a way to see you guys better. There we go. The chat is now peeking behind. Excuse me. Oh, I understand, Jess. Honestly, a big part of it to me is finding ways to relieve the pressure mentally. Because I deal with a lot of guilt, and we're not getting into serious talk, don't worry. But just as a quick comment, with me, I get in the thing of too much guilt. And I've realized if I can find ways to help my mood and energy, that gives me more energy to help others, and that relieves the guilt. So I've tricked myself into caring for myself more. And if you can do that, ways to help your own self in order to help others, that can be a nice little shortcut to improve your self-care. And asking what's happening so far, Max. I am working on a Patreon prize. That's the first step, Jess. Just saying you wish you could do it, that's your first goal. The next step is then letting yourself try. And that's the second goal. It doesn't matter if you think you're successful. If you're trying, that's already better than not trying. And therefore, you're already making progress. That's the key. Because I've dealt with that a lot, and I still am. But yeah, Max, this is so far a request from Patreon, where someone requested Diva from Overwatch as a rabbit. So obviously, I was happy to oblige, because rabbits. And now I'm working on the mech, because there's a lot of details on this mech, and if I can use this to warm up my muscles, then in a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and do requests after I do some more warm-up. I understand, Hattie. Go ahead and get that soda pop. It can also help you get out of the house, feel refreshed. I'm also really thirsty, so you mentioning soda makes me thirsty. It's like, whatever. I've got water, so it's something. Keep on like the stream, please. Oh, thank you, Jess. So if you guys want to... I am happy to hear that some of you are liking this, so yes. To figure out a request. Understandable, Max. We have some people in front of you, so that won't be too bad. And I understand needing to get food soon. In about 10 minutes, I'm going to be taking a tiny break for me to go get some food. So there's no pressure there. I tend to do long streams. You guys have noticed that, so if you guys ever have to go, it's always okay to just, like Hattie did, say, be right back and come back later. And okay, Jess, it is getting quite late for you over there. I understand. I'm glad you were able to show up. Having people reoccur always makes me happy. Happy to see friends here. Especially after all the talking we've done. Give the request note. Make art for Needs and Bunny. Yes. Pretty much anything fused with a rabbit, or a rabbit as the star of the picture. That's pretty much the secret to my heart. I love most anything with a rabbit. It just kind of sprung up about like 3 or 4 years ago. I just realized how happy I am when I'm seeing rabbits, drawing rabbits, anything like that. So I was like, you know what? I guess that's my thing right now. And I'm really glad you were able to show up, Jess. Thank you for showing up, even as late as it was and as tired as you may be. Good night. And thank you for showing up, giving such happy, positive vibes. I'm glad you were able to show here. Especially as I'm just rambling about whatever I ramble about. Exactly, Jess. It can actually be kind of useful to have your go-to happy subject in the art. My sentence kind of fell apart there, but yeah. Yeah, that can actually be kind of useful, because then people ask and it's like, oh, this thing, it makes me happy. So yeah, I understand the not actually feeling that sleepy, but you look at the time and go, I should go to bed. It's why my secret is always to lay on the bed, turn off the lights, and listen to YouTube without looking. My eyes get a little tired that way. It helps me force the sleepiness into my system. So everybody's got their own trick. I know my sister has her own method. My mom has her own method. Everybody's got their own method. So honestly, the quicker you find that and stick to it, good. And either way, I'm glad you were able to drop in and visit, because everybody's got their own schedule, and it still cheers me up to even see someone for 5 minutes because they just drop in to say hi. I know Jay has done that a couple times. Plenty of people. And I still really appreciate that. It makes me happy. Hopefully you're able to enjoy just a little bit of the stream. So I've dropped in on short streams too. Only tired when you look at the screen. Okay. Well, maybe it's that the screen is actually kind of hurting your eyes when you're getting kind of tired. I can understand that. My nose. Oh, nose. My nose. Put away. But yeah, that's the trick I've done, in case you ever want to try that out, is I lay on my bed, close my eyes, but I still let myself listen to something, so I feel distracted and have a little, you know, more entertainment. Because my mind races all the time, if that's clear by how I talk. So having something to listen to that's funny or interesting while still laying on my bed, that has been the trick for me. In case that gives you ideas. I do not know. Oof, so many details. This picture's complicated. But fun. You know, it's a little mix of both. Okay. Let's see. I can slide this detail over. If this were on paper, I would have to do a whole lot more planning to get it right. Because there's so many tiny details. I have to get them all in the right place. That's actually a good way to meditate then, Jess. Because yeah, a lot of people will say focus on your breathing. I do that whenever I'm stressed. That helps me a whole lot. To just have things quiet, feel my breathing. That really calms me down. Whereas I do the YouTube thing for sleep. Gotta stick with what actually helps you. It's kind of the trick to life. Find a productive, non-harmful way to actually relax. Meanwhile, I struggle with this picture. My alarm goes off, letting me know that it is 9 o'clock Central Time right now, which was my designated time to go take a break, but I don't feel like it yet. I'm going to let myself relax a tiny bit more before going to take a break itself. It's something that can clear your mind. Yeah, I think that can be a trick. It's why giving myself something to listen to while laying on my bed, because it distracts me. I think that's actually been the trick I've noticed when it comes to calming yourself and keeping your mind calm, is that I notice if I have a distraction that, especially if it's something very like silly or harmless, like I'll tend to listen to a very ridiculous Let's Play, and I'll turn the volume really low so that I can tell the person is rambling. If there's multiple people, like with Game Grumps, they'll be talking back and forth and making silly jokes and laughing and yelling. And I can barely hear it enough to kind of follow along and be like, oh yeah, okay, cool, right. But as they're giving me all this entertainment, half the time I'm not even paying attention. My mind just kind of wanders and I don't even know what I'm focusing on. And that leads to my sleepiness, usually. So, just a food for thought. Food. In case that helps you get ideas. I know I do need to start my nighttime routine earlier, though, as I've mentioned previously, because I want to have an earlier start to each day. I'm also probably going to take a bite of some food right now. I apologize if that is uncomfortable to you guys. I'm not trying to be weird, but I'm quite hungry. And I didn't want to leave just yet. Okay. Hey. At least that way, Jess, if you tried something that didn't work, you now have the experience and knowledge of what doesn't work. It's a lot like with art, too. I think it's always better to at least experiment and find out. Are you asking me to do that with the food? I don't know if I should take that risk. Because I could do it. Oh, I could do it. Cough, choke. I know Jack and Silly have done that before. There's a fine line when it comes to chewing sounds, where it can be hilarious and disgusting. I don't think I'm going to do that. There's also a lot of improv that tends to happen on this show. So if the mood asks for it, maybe I'll make that punchline, but right now that just sounds gross. Okay. I think this is supposed to be like a spotlight or a laser for her mech. I can't really tell. So many fine details. Let's see, let's do that circle. Now that's just creepy deja vu. Start the stream. That is weird, Cody. Especially since I've also had some weird things with YouTube's streams. I've already mentioned in the update video I've had trouble with uploads, but I'm also having some weird things with streams when I try to rewatch them later. If I go into like a 2-hour or 3-hour stream and I try to click the video to watch it later, there's like, it only shows the second half of the stream. Even if I go to the very beginning, it starts at like 2 hours into the video. And I don't understand why. Does YouTube have a cap? Is that maybe what's going on? I don't understand. I don't know. I mean, I guess that kind of adds value to showing up live, is that you get to experience the whole thing. I don't know. I have yet to research that and find out. Okay. She doesn't actually have a line down the center of her mech, so I'll just add the 2 little bolts that are on either side. So that helps indicate where the center is. There we go. I like that. Wiggle nose, wiggle nose. Yeah. Deja vu all over again. Don't you know? There's a movie called Deja Vu, isn't there? Yeah, it's got Denzel Washington, I believe. It's a suspenseful movie. It's actually really cool sci-fi. I remember it being really cool. A little sci-fi action, kind of a mix of there, because it's got all the space-time weirdness. It's a really cool movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember it being pretty good, actually. This is how my mind works. Anything reminds me of something, I'll then talk about that. Okay. Notice the shape here is a little weird. It gets smaller. Oh, that's weird. Excuse me. Burps for days. Why am I able to burp so many times when people aren't here? And then when Jack and Sil do show up, the burps disappear. Maybe they steal my burps. To do an investigation. How do people do that? Every time I say goodnight. That is the story of my life. I do that so often, Jess. You're not the only one there. It's why so many of these streams have gone so long. I'll say, okay, I probably need to wind down, and then I'll keep talking, because someone reminds me of something. But we can do the honorary send-off if you need to, Jess. If you need to get that sleep, relax your eyes, start your routine, that is fine. I can give you the sign here. It is time for bed, says the Bun Bun. It is time for bed. Come on, computer. What are you doing? Giving you the signal. That is the sign from the internet that sleep is missing you. And you are missing sleep. Okay. I've got a decent amount of stuff here. Did my voice just crack? I don't know. But I still have to fill in some of the gaps where we have a lot of joints on this robot. That actually is one secret about robots that can become very useful, is that they're very much about joints. Things are really easy to piece together that way. No pun intended. It's a little easier to visualize everything if you actually piece it like Legos and visualize all the joints. 12 hours of sleep last night. Oh, wow. Okay. I've had that problem. Especially as my health was kind of weaker, I would oversleep. So all I can think of is kind of mentally keep track of when you're going to bed and when you're waking up, and set an alarm at the point that you want to wake up, and actually, like, maybe a couple of alarms. That's what I do. I set an alarm at noon and then also at 1, so that at least one of those will actually wake me up. You could also try keeping your phone nearby, that when one of those alarms goes off, pull out the phone and actually try doing stuff to wake yourself up. You know, there's a lot of things that could work. Because if you're oversleeping, I know that feeling. Okay. I believe that's good for now. Diva's happy with her mech. There we go. I was hoping maybe I could get around to colors, but I don't know. If I do it out of order, then meh. I'll end up doing too many shortcuts to the point of leaving stuff out and it won't look right. So I think for now, this is a good placeholder. And I like it. I think it's working. I like this camera angle well. And I also had to draw the tiny piece of the leg from the robot that she's leaning on. I had to draw that piece first. And then from that point, I had to match the sketch of the mech to fit in that slot so that she aligns well. Because she's the focus, and I need her to look right first. Then I worried about how the mech aligns next to her. Set my alarm so I have to wake up and get out of bed, turn off. Yeah, some people will do that. Well, they'll put the alarm clock or the phone across the room. That's dangerous for me because I ignore it. I just turn over in my bed and will put my hand over my ear or something like that and just ignore the phone or alarm. And heck, I'll sometimes just turn that into a lucid dream because I'll listen to the song that's playing on my alarm and it'll just be the soundtrack to a new dream. I do that all the time, so it's like, I can't have it across the room. I'll ignore it. But I mean, it's good to find what works for you because some people, that will help. For me, I have to put the alarm just literally next to me. It's probably not good. It ends up distracting me too easily. But yeah, it's finding that balance that works. Okay. So I think I am going to go take a break, mainly to use the restroom and probably get another drink of something. I think I used up all my chocolate milk, but I can find some other beverage to have. For now, I will set this here. Let's get some text in here. Let's make the brush really obvious. Be right back. Whoa. I just clicked on the edge of my toolbar. There we go. Let's add a tiny bit of a backdrop to that too, because it's a little hard to see. Yeah, here's a quick little trick. Let's do some of this. Is that good? No, that's actually harder to read. So let's make it white. There we go. And if I raise the opacity There we go. Let's do that instead. Quick little trick so you can actually read the text. Alright, everyone. This is the little tiny break. I will switch over the music so I don't get any weird copyright strike from YouTube because they're stupid about that. And I don't regret saying that because it's true. They do not handle the rule correctly. But anyway, I will put on some Be Right Back music. And this is a good cue for you, Jess, to go to bed because you need sleep. Send you the request on Discord. Thank you, Max. That is the usually best place to receive things. The file transfer is easy. If someone wants to send me a request but you don't have me on Discord, I also have a Twitter. And what's another social media I use? You could technically send it over DeviantArt. I have an account on there. Eli, you showed up right as I'm doing my little break. But it's only going to be about 5 minutes. I'm glad you showed up though, Eli. Yeah, this gives people a chance to go get some food, go get some water, go take a restroom break, which I'm gonna do. And yeah, sure, what else was I talking about? Telegram. Telegram! That is another place where I accept pictures and references really easily. Eli's gonna go catch some anime. Let's hope it doesn't run too fast. Be sure to bring a net or some 3D maneuver gear or some Pokeballs. Or a trap card, whatever helps you in that predicament. Anime are very tricky when it comes to catching them. But, okay. I think we've got Diva right there. She looks happy enough. And, yeah, let's switch over the music. Got some music set up here. Okay. Max has the request here. Okay, and you've got reference sheets. That's good. I will need the reference sheets. I got that, Max. Let me set up the next music that I'm going to use. Oh, you guys got a peek. Whoops. You didn't see anything. I have to keep it secret. I have to keep it safe. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Okay, I've got that set up. Find it there. And it will be about 5 or 10 minutes. Be sure to go get some water if you haven't been drinking much today. You need to stay hydrated. As well as get yourself a snack. Go use the restroom. Stretch your arms. Stretch your legs if you've been sitting a lot. Like me. Because I'm in my little cave at my desk all day. Be sure to stretch your arms a little bit. The files were too big, so you had to use send space. I don't know send space, but I will trust you on that. We'll see how it works. Alright, so I will be right back. Here is the music while we be right back. See you guys in a little bit. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Gotta mute that. Muted! I'm back now. I stuffed my face. The audio is loading because my internet is having trouble. Let's try that again. But I am back. Let's go ahead and close that one there. Let's make sure that I'm in frame. Yes. Okay. Sound looks good. Hopefully you guys got time to eat food and use the restroom and whatnot. I'm clicking on the music to bring that back. There we go. And always give me the okay or the shout out if, like, what's the word? If my audio is bad, you can always be like, hey, fix that please. And I'll go ahead and do that. That's always fine. I still have a little, excuse me, a little bit of food here. I will try not to give you ASMR food sounds. I'll try to keep that to a minimum. But hello, Ike. Thank you for welcoming me back. I think this is a good routine. I should always have that music playing as the break music so that you guys know. And yeah. The reason I'm playing that louder music, not only to initiate the commercial break, so to speak, but also it is my own music, so it won't do any copyright trouble. So that's also helpful. I've saved the progress here. I will open a brand new sheet, and we can return to requests. I double check Discord, since a lot of you have sent it that way. And let's see how many I can get to. I would actually like to get to a lot of them today, if I can. I will open a new sheet, because this time I think we can get around to a lot of people. The limitation or theme in this one, I will probably just stick to the normal limitation, in that our the requests will only be the face or shoulders, head area of a character, because I need to keep it short and sweet. I apologize for so many burps today. I'm making up for everyone else apparently who's not currently here. Oof. Oh, Discord. I missed a bunch of these messages. Okay, so next person will be Hattie, who was next on the list. I don't believe Alex is here, but if Alex were here, he would be next, so he will be... I'll keep a note for him. So let's make that quick list. That tends to work best if I make a list so I can keep track of it. Whoop, whoop, the list. Alright. And let's put in those numbers so I can keep track. I will be very happy if I can get to all 5, if I were to do that many. So we have Hattie, who is next on the list today. Max was saying that he wanted something. Does anybody else want a request? I will keep this list on the page. I think I like that idea that Silly and Jack suggested, of keeping the list on the page so that I can always keep track of what's going on. Okay, you wanted to draw your persona? I can do that. Do you have an expression or emotion that you would like your character to be in, Hattie? I'll give you a little bit of time as I'm warming up and figuring things out. Let's go ahead and label that layer. The list. Okay. Yay. The layer has been labeled. Take another bite of my yogurt, too. Also giving you guys a little bit more time to show up, since some people may still be on their own break. But that music's okay. Alright. So, I'm looking at your characters so far. I have that. I can plan out the pose right now. I like how poofy your character's hair is. I like that a lot. Okay, let's see. Might change the size in a little bit. I've got the ears. Let's plan those out. Fox character here. I should say, order a professional ref sheet from you one day. That is perfectly okay. And we can talk about that if you want to have one of the Patreon things be your ref sheet, because I'm currently working on one for game. His is almost done, and his had a bit of a double feature. He has 2 Sonos that he uses a lot. So I have one sheet with 2 characters that are side by side. It's a rather horizontally gifted sheet. And I've still managed to squeeze all the details on there in this good format. I'll have to figure out what the colors are going to be in the background, but that's the last stage. So yeah, you can definitely let me know if you would like that, Ike, and I can do a ref sheet for you. I've done a lot, actually. And yet I have not gotten around to doing my own ref sheet, as Silly reminded me last time in the stream. I still need to do it. I've been working on so many other things that I have not gotten to my own ref sheet. I'm not really worried. I draw my little rabbit all the time, so it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm not worried. Okay. It's actually been a while since I had yogurt, so this is really nice. Strawberry. I like strawberry. I like most fruit flavors, except maybe grapefruit. That's probably my only thing I go, eh, but maybe I've just had bad grapefruit. Glad that you're back, Hattie. I was asking you when starting your request, do you have an expression or emotion that you would like your character to be in? Because I would like to represent your character correctly. Your character looks very casual and a little mischievous in your current picture that you sent me. Is there an emotion you would like in this picture? Let me angle him up a little bit. There we go. I'll have to adjust these lines a bit. Okay. And on the hair here. I love how poofy the hair is. That's a really good style choice, Hattie. I want him to be a smug smile. Yeah. Hey there. This is my smug voice. Yeah. Sounds good. Okay, I'll do that. One of his ears is kind of hiding behind the hair. Maybe I should adjust that a little bit. Just enough that you can still see the other ear. And you are welcome, Hattie. I like to do these requests for you guys. Keeps you guys involved actively in this process and gives me a lot to work on. Excuse me so much. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. So much burps. Many burps, so many. Okay, getting that hair. Max is back as well. Welcome back, Max. Back, Max. That's fun to say. I have started the requests. I will be keeping the list on the page just so that we can always keep track of where I am and who is next. And always remember, if you need reference sheets or any kind of examples for me to do this picture correctly, send them ahead of time or keep them ready, as people have done so far. It has helped me a lot. Let's see. I made the hair. Maybe it needs to go up a little bit. Okay, let's zoom in a tiny bit. You want him to have a smug smile. Okay. Yeah, smug smile. Keep those lines a little thin. I'm trying to mimic your style while still keeping it my own as well. Ooh, I love this song. My favorite thing about listening to a channel that plays 24-hour music is every once in a while they play a song you remember. I love that. Which actually, I want to take a screenshot then. That way I can look it up later. It's one of my favorite things to do. Is look up music that I enjoy. Save that image on my desktop for now until I transfer it. And it is called Okay, that's a weird title. Some of these are not in English for me. Okay. There we go. Now I have saved that song that I was listening to that I like. Back to the picture. Okay, so smug smile. Got that smug look. Thug life. Okay. Let's get that little nose in there. Your character seems to be a fox, I would guess. Sometimes I can be wrong, and there's actually a more specific species of animal. But your character reminds me of a fox, if I can guess correctly. For me, details like that are actually really useful, because then I can adjust the style and dimensions of the character a little more to reflect that, in case people want that. Okay. Let's have the hair go up, because I love how poofy this hair is. Reminding me of Danny from Game Grumps. All that poofy hair. I wish my hair were poofy. He's a dog! Okay, that actually does help me. See? I was wrong. That's why I'm really glad I asked. Good, okay. I can see that, actually. I can see a little pupper. Little doggo. Got that smug smile. Yeah. And I can definitely make the fangs show if you want. Okay, that line might be kind of a bit thick. Let's trim that line. Let's carve it. Whoops, not that much. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Line thickness is very useful. You can do a lot of cool effects if you change the width of some of your lines. It used to be I kind of ignored that. Probably only been a few years ago that I finally forced myself to adjust line width, and it actually is really nice then. Let's give his nose a little bit of shine. Yeah, let's add that little, some of those details. There we go. Get that little nose, little doggy nose. Yeah, let's bring down his eyelids a little bit. If he's looking smug, he's looking confident. Yeah, there we go. Do you have a preference of where he'll be looking? He could be looking to the left, to the right. He could be looking at the viewer. Do you have a preference there, Hattie? I tend to have my characters looking off to the left or right. I say that, and then I look at my screen, and I have all my characters looking forward. But usually, I draw characters looking off to a direction. Like Diva, earlier. I had her looking to the right of the page, her left. Yeah. Let's see, let's add that little bit of turtleneck you've got the character in. I'm going to try and sneak in a little bit of fluff. There we go. I like that. Make him looking off to the right. I can do that. Oh, he left. Okay, I can do the left. Yeah, composition-wise, that makes a lot of sense. Not to get complicated with various things about composition and art stuff. But it does make sense to have him looking to the left, considering he has a lot of visual weight going to the right. You can always break those rules, but the more rules you learn, it at least gives you more to think about when it comes to art. Again, I consider all art tutorial advice to be optional, but they're useful tools. I've heard some people refer to them as, like they're absolute rules that you if you don't follow, then shame on you type thing. I've seen people say stuff like that, and I don't really agree with that. It kind of, to me, it feels too limiting. It's like, ugh, don't tell people they have to follow a certain method. That's meh. But I mean, maybe they just really like that method, and so they're like, yes, you should follow it. You have to. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows anything? Off to Bermuda, I suppose. Some island that hasn't been discovered yet. He'll be flying all right, just like a rock. Does anybody recognize that? That'd be great. If you guys actually recognize that, any of those quotes. We'll see. I should maybe make that an ongoing thing I do here. Because I have a million movie quotes in my head. So if I were to constantly bring up quotes, people get points if they recognize it. We'll see. We'll see. Of course, then there's the pressure of me always thinking of, okay, come up with a new quote. Okay, let's add a tiny bit of shine into his eye. Yeah, quick little bit of shine. Excuse me. Good! Cody got it. Yeah, thank you, Cody. I'm really glad you heard that. You get a bunny point. Let's call them those. There we go. Ta-da! Come on, YouTube. There we go. You get a point for that. I am the dictator here. I come up with the points randomly, but I try to come up with enough times that everybody can get a point. You gotta earn it. Can't just give them out for free. But I do it often enough. And no, I'm not keeping score. It's for fun. Okay. Yeah, I like how this is tucking behind. Alright. There we go, doing the eyebrow thing. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, there we go. And all the pictures today are going to be of the face and maybe a little bit of the shoulders, but I'm trying to save time as I do these pictures. Because I've run into problems in the past, taking way too long as I draw, so let's fix that. There we go. And if anyone has a previous picture that I've drawn before for a request, and you would like me to color it, that can take your slot. I can do that as well. It'll have to be a separate request slot, but I can do that if you would like me to color one of these. But I have to save it as a different one, because I don't have that time, sadly. Gotta find time to still add good detail. Okay. There we go. Oh, we got a smug little pupper. Love it. There we go. Trying to add a tiny bit of fluff hinted at here. Just a tiny bit. Sometimes it's kind of fun to leave some of your lines free and open. I think sometimes we can get paranoid about making your art perfect, that you think, oh, all the lines have to be connected and all the things have to be finished. Sometimes it's kind of fun to keep things free-flowing. Oh, thank you, Hattie. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you think in this character looking cute. I try to do that. Even if I'm drawing a mutated dragon with 5 arms and breathing ice fire and in a swamp with something else that's gross, I still try to make that cute. I just, in general, like drawing cute things. No regrets. I love cute things. It's probably obvious by now, but... Okay. I've just about got a lot of the essentials there. I'm going to continue to add little details of fur, but after this is done, I will then move on to maxes. I actually am getting better at that. Exactly, Hattie. Farting dragon fire. That was funny. I liked that. Oh, wow, that's already been a couple weeks by now. Goodness. Yeah, we need to do that more often. If you guys don't know, we did a game with, it was me, Jack, and Silly, where we drew kind of in like a Pictionary type style. We all played a game, and for some reason, an ongoing theme throughout that episode was farting dragons. I don't know. But yeah, but fire, fart. There we go. I think it's good. There we go. Adding in all that fluffy fur. Which this is a good example of when it comes to letting your lines be kind of messy. That can add a lot of texture for the fluff. So yeah, let yourself experiment with line thickness. And if some of your lines are not connected, that can actually create a really nice soft look, like I'm doing here. Lines aren't connected, but I still like it. Don't be bound by preconceptions of what you think it has to be. Let yourself have fun. Because that's the point, as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, when it comes to a job, things become limited, but even then you can find ways. You can sneak in some funny stuff. Or at least the process can be interesting. Okay. And notice I'm trying to do a little bit of a bump from his cheek, pushing on his eye. That really helps give him some visual weight. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. Yeah, if I can keep myself to actually follow a style and rules per request session, I can actually get through quite a lot. At least that's the theory. Okay, and I might make it a habit of actually saving all of the files in their finished versions before I end the stream, so that I'll be... Because usually I have to do a tiny bit of editing to crop the image before I send it. And then my family also wants to talk to me after I'm done. So that's why at times after the stream, there's a delay before I send them. But yeah, maybe I can at least save the image beforehand. So alrighty, let me go ahead and save that. This is the Hattie layer. There we go. Let me add a tiny bit of... There we go. It's a little bit of cross-hatching to emphasize the shadow of the cloth. Can do a little bit of that. Stuff like that's simple enough for me to do. So I can add little details if you guys want it. But I gotta keep it short and simple so that I have enough time. And that's about right. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Hattie, for the request. Save that. Make sure I've saved this file. Documents, pictures, live streams, and what is today's day? Hello, Akoshi. Yes, we have started requests, and there are only 2 people on the list. And I just finished one, so I can add you next if you would like to. By the way, I'm glad you're here. It's been a while since I saw you. I know a part of that is me. But let's see. What is today? April 7th. That's right. April the 7th. That is today's stream. April 7th. Okay, so let me go ahead, drag the line over, add your name to the list if you are interested. Let's go ahead and do that. I usually just stick by the name that you have as your username. So if you would ever want to be wrote on here in a different name, always let me know in case it helps you visually keep track of stuff. Yeah, giving you time to think about it. It's all fine, Higoshi. It's not a rush. There's still someone ahead of you. Hurry isn't just a kind of cute. Scaly can be cute, and also snakes. Oh, snakes and lizards can be adorable. I mean, honestly, with me, most of the time, if any kind of animal, I'm just gonna find it cute. I'm predictable. The cover of Ice Cube's album, The Predator, but with a fox. So that's pretty fitting. Let me look that up in the meantime. And let me get Max's picture up on Discord. Now that he has sent that. He sent me a large file via send space. Okay, let's see if it's sent correctly. Come on. Okay, okay. Alright. I think it'll let me save this way. Okay, interesting. Let me try opening it on my computer instead, Max, because when I tried to do it through my phone, it told me that I couldn't do it because I was a guest account. Meanwhile, on here, we're going to open Ice Cube, the Predator. Let's see. Ooh. Ooh. That is a really cool album cover. Really good lighting. Okay, so you're wanting a fox instead. Do you want the rest of the details to be the same, Hikoshi? I think I've got the rest of the details just fine here. I'll keep that window open. Meanwhile, let's try opening... Let's open your link on my computer, Max. Let's see how that looks. Let's see if it works. Fingers are crossed. Let's see. Okay. I think it'll let me download. Oh, I'm getting a weird thing. I don't know if this is going to work, Max. I don't know if SynSpace likes me. I do not have an account, and it's not letting me open the images. So I will message you just as a reminder here. Sending method. I always do that when trying to spell words correctly. Discord. Yes, Discord is one way to send it. Syncs are cool. Uh-oh. Yeah, exactly. No worry there, Max. If you can send it on DeviantArt into your stash, I know you can upload big files there, and then link me to your stash on DeviantArt. That's another method of getting pictures to someone privately. Or Google Drive. That also usually works, as long as there's permission. And yeah, I really like snakes. I like the danger noodles, and well, actually, danger noodles from a distance, but normal noodles, they're adorable. Too big for DA stash. I thought DA let us do any kind of image size. It must be a big image. Then yeah, try Google Drive. Hopefully that's going to work for your request here. Let me, in the meantime, actually be productive and save this picture already. So turn off that. Go ahead and save it as a PNG. This one is for Hattie. It rhymed, and I wasn't even trying to. Excuse me. Okay, got that. Let's close that. Let me open it again. Open the Hattie file. And I will send this as a PNG. If ever someone would like this as a transparent picture instead, just let me know and I can do that. Edit, crop. There we go. Another option you can do, Max, is to screenshot your pictures and then send me the screenshots. That way I can still see it that way. That's been my go-to method for getting an image saved without any trouble. Because the file, the screenshot file will always be the same size, so then it's really easy to send it to people. So let me go ahead and close that. And now open back the picture we had. Okay. Good, I'm being productive. What is this madness? Since when am I ever productive? Okay. Oh, DA has a cap of 80 megabytes. I mean, that's 80 is still kind of big for a picture, so I understand. They can get bigger, but okay. There we go. And I've yet to see... Okay, Hikoshi, you were saying yes. Were you responding to my question of, do you want any extra details added to this or changed on Ice Cube's The Predator album? Do you want me to keep everything the same, but just replace it with a fox? And I can... Okay, yeah. There we go. Max has sent me a Google Drive picture. Download. Okay. I will have to try it on my computer again. My phone said no. Let's see. My computer should probably be fine with this. No preview available, but I clicked download. Download. I see the download working. That's good. So far, so good, Max. Looks like it's working. I do hope. Okay, keeping track of the chat. Keeping track of the chat. Keeping track of the chat. I gotta look at the chat as it goes along. Do-do-do. Okay. You can hear. I'll go ahead and add your name to the list, though. I thought I did, but maybe I didn't. Or maybe I probably didn't save. That's probably it. I did too many file things at once, and it didn't save the name. Thought I had written it. I was wondering what was up. Now we save it. Okay. So let me go ahead and also check Hattie off the list now that we have completed this picture. There we go. There we go. Okay. Make it look all pretty. Okay. Ah, here we go. Here's the reference. Excellent. Excellent. It's a good reference sheet, too. All camera angles. It's the kind of thing I need to practice more often. Commissions have been taking up so much time, I haven't had the chance. Crap, I need my laptop on phone. Oh, Google Drive's being a butt. Oh, I'm sorry there. Don't worry, Max. I still see the description you gave me. Maxwell and NERF sheet. Okay, so close that one. Okay. And still waiting for the reply from Hikoshi on his details on the picture. But I can begin the poses and everything for you, Max. Let's start that new layer. Did I click the right button? There we go. Change the layer. Okay, you were referring to me. Just saying the word yes in a chat room makes it very confusing to only see one word, and I don't know who you're referring to. Okay, good to know that that's the only thing you want. It's just normal album cover, but as a fox. Okay, thank you. So let's go ahead and start the poses for Max's. I'm trying to think of the best way to change up the pose. I don't want to copy what I've done on one of your previous pictures. Let's see. I'm going to look at your description just to see if I have any opportunity to make it interesting. Okay, if it's a mutual scene, that will help. That will help the scene. Okay. Let's see how I can do this. Since they are small characters, I can probably pose them correctly. The first link did work, Max. Yes, let me see if you sent a second one. You did. First one did work. Permission. The second one says I need permission. So I requested permission, Max. Just in case the chat is delayed. I know the audio and video are not always in sync, or not the audio video. My point in the conversation is usually different from the chat, because I know this, it's not always in sync. I realize that. Coming up on the 2-hour mark. Still have 5 minutes. Things are going well. Be sure to stretch if you've been sitting down for a long time. Go let yourself have a bathroom break, drink some water. We are going to be here for a while. No worries. I make my streams quite long. It's a fun way to chill. Enjoy the afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you happen to be. Let's see. These guys have little ears. She's got a little hairstyle. Let's see. I'm going to go through my files just to double check something. Let's see. It wasn't Patreon when I clicked that. Pictures. Live streams. What day was it that I sent? That one? No. That one? No. Gonna dig through all the files until I find which one I sent to Max before. Okay, okay, that helps, that helps. Gotcha. Okay, sent the permissions. Not a problem, alrighty. Let's see if I click a second time, maybe it'll work this time. It worked! We have the image. Well, it's currently downloading, but everything's working fine. Thank you for that, Max. I know trying to juggle program files in the middle of a stream can be confusing when you're on the spot. It's okay, don't worry, it worked. Meanwhile, I need to remember to drink more water. Let me grab my other water bottle. After I told you guys to stretch, now I realize that I need to stretch. Especially since I think I have the tendency to hunch my back when I'm focusing. Okay. And I dropped the lid, so I'm replacing it with the other lid. That works for now. Because I'm not getting up. I don't want to get up. Okay. So now that I have both references, it says it's downloading, does it? Did it not finish? Huh, it's still loading. Maybe I need to reset it. Okay, let's try that. Oh, there it is. There we have the other file. Okay. You always get to see it first on that screen because of how my computer loves to open on the first screen, not the second screen. I wish I could change that. But I don't know how. Yes, alarm clock. Excuse me. Goodness, that was louder than I intended. Okay, so now I have both images. I'll try to put them next to the chat so I can still see what you guys are saying. Boop. Okay. Okay. There we go. Alright, that works. Now I can see these images and still read what you guys are saying. Okay. Let's rotate that a little bit. Now you said you want this to be a mutual picture where they're both flirting with each other, both being cute little squirrels. I can do that. Let's see. I have an idea in mind. Okay, I had to give myself a moment to brainstorm on the spot. Okay. Just going with my instinct. I'm going with my instinct, so go ahead and correct me if I ever do something out of character for a character. Because a lot of these requests tend to be characters that you guys are familiar with, so it is okay to be like, actually, like you just said, yeah, Max, that that your guy can be a little more shy. That already helps me because I was thinking of one thing and now I can change it. A chair, there we go. I can change the picture a little more now that I know what is his personality, what he would do. I've actually got another movie in mind of how I'm imagining this, so that works. I'm trying to think if I can come up with a good quote that isn't too obvious. Let's see. Oh, too many of the quotes are obvious if I were to say that. Let's see. Oh goodness, I can't think of quotes that those characters say. I'm glad I thought of that movie now, though, because I'm thinking of a good pose. Let's change the angle a little bit and then lower this character. You said her name was Anna? Oh, I actually have a character myself who is also named Anna. She's a rabbit. What a surprise. What movie? No, that's the game. So far, I made a quote, and Cody recognized it. So I want to try to come up with more quotes, and you guys have to place where it's from. And if you do that, you get a point. But that requires me to actually think of the quote. That doesn't give it away right off the bat. This is difficult. Oh, it's super difficult, because all the quotes I'm thinking of have their name mentioned. Oh, that's so difficult. Trying to think. I can think of a song that's from it. That's not really a... I don't think this is a common song. I don't know if people would recognize it right off the bat, so maybe I could just sing that. I'm disappointed in myself for not thinking of a better quote. Because that makes it more fun if I can actually think of a random line like I did with Sword in the Stone. Of course, that movie I've memorized, that's why. I haven't seen this movie in a while that I'm thinking of. Let's see. R-E-S-C-U-E. Rescue Aid Society. Da 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 da. Rescue Aid Society. There you go. If anyone recognizes that, you get a point. I couldn't remember all the lines, so I just went da da da. It works close enough. Okay, true, true. Max, your character has one N. My character, whose name is Anna, has two N's. So now we can tell them apart if we ever do a random crossover. Which, I mean, who knows? Stuff like that can be random and fun. Still haven't seen that movie yet. Do you know what I'm quoting? Okay, we'll see if you do, Max. You only get a point if you actually call it out correctly. I might award smaller points if people are on the right track. I might give more clues. Granted, that movie I haven't seen in a long time, so it'd be a little hard to give more quotes. Okay, so... let's see, I'm trying to think of the pose she's going to be in. Okay, I think I've got an idea. Oh, I've got a cute thing. Haha! Okay, Max, you did get the point. You did. Fair enough. Okay. You get the point. Eventually I can get a bot to do this for me. Oh, right. I have to use your actual username to make it work. There we go. You get a point. You get a bunny buddy point. Say that 5 times really fast. Excuse me. It's the catch with eating during a stream. The burps are going to come more frequent. Okay, let's get back to those pictures. I want to get the hairstyle and all of that correct. And I think I need to move Maxwell over a little bit. Let's see, I know what I'm visualizing. Of course, now I need to go back to Anna here. It is kind of cool seeing their names and actually being able to refer to them that way. Okay. Another thing you might consider, Max, unless you already have it in mind, which is, I understand there, when it comes to these character sheets, you might have a universal chart that you then put them on and then crop accordingly to have them fit. But that way you can look at each sheet and know their height, so that then, without them being on the same sheet, you can still look at them and go, oh, okay, this one goes above the 3, while this one's a little bit below the 3, and that helps people keep track of size. It's something I just noticed, because I'm not sure if these guys are the same. I'm going to make them similar, unless you want me to do otherwise. But yeah, I got a good idea here. Give him some fluff. Good to know that he's a little more shy. Okay. Yeah, because I'm thinking of Bianca and Bernard and how their chemistry was adorable. So, and Bernard was quite the shy little mouse. I always was rooting for him. Quite relatable, actually. Already sort of made one with these two. Okay, good. I see that you had a chart in development for Anna, and that's good to know. Also, I realized she's not a squirrel, she's a chipmunk. I was wrong. Why did I say that? I lose a point. I was wrong. I was wrong on multiple things today, actually. Got Hattie's species wrong, and now I got this species wrong. I've definitely lost some points. Okay. Which also, Max, good job on the patterns on her, by the way, because when I looked at those patterns, it then became really obvious. Like, oh, right, chipmunk. So, you did a good job with the detail there. It made it really easy to see. So yeah, that is a confirmation to you of like, yeah, you made her really recognizable. Okay, trying to have her chin overlap the ribbon she's wearing just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. There's a little bit of a fold there too, because the ribbon would probably be crinkling a little bit because her shoulders are raised. Okay, gotta ignore the itchy nose. Okay, she's giggling. Oh, I realized she has a little heart nose. That's adorable. That's adorable. Okay, so she'll probably be lowering her nose a little bit. Let me make the lines a little thinner. I tend to draw the nose first and then put the mouth for a lot of animal characters because it helps me keep track of which direction they're facing. I can understand if the opposite is more useful. If someone would rather work on the emotion, get that right, then worry about extra details. I can understand that too, actually. So, both are food for thought. But I personally find the nose to be the easier step. It helps me keep track of that. Her head is turned slightly this way. So, his character sheets from explained. Okay, good. Good. Yeah, it's really useful to have a bunch of info. You don't want to flood the page, but it is really useful to have personality and height. The stuff that affects the character's presentation. Because if you mention their entire history, sometimes that can help, but you might crowd the page on a reference sheet. So if you focus on height and personality, those two in particular really affect how someone's drawn. Because if I know, oh, he's this tall and he's shy, now when I draw him as the artist looking at your reference sheet, I'll know to keep his body language in a very shy way. You know, with maybe his hands will be together, or he's kind of always leaning to the side. He's very shy. So, yeah. That's my 2 cents. Put it in your piggy bank if you need it. You're mumble. But yeah, okay. I'm probably going to work on hers first. I know she's giggling, so let's have her mouth. I want to keep it a simple smile because she's innocent. They're both having a relaxing time. If I did a more extreme expression, it might convey different. Okay, let's see. Do I want to... Maybe I'll bring up the side of her cheek a little bit. Yeah, maybe she's raising one eyebrow because she's a little, like, entertained and confused. I'm like, wow, you really just said that? And he's like, oh god, I'm so embarrassed. And then she's just like, the way Bianca would always interact with Bernard, of all these times he's trying to say something brave or smart, and she's just kind of behind him laughing, and I'm going like, oh gosh, you're so whatever the word is. But yeah, their chemistry was great, and that's what I'm thinking of. It's also a very underappreciated movie, especially the first Rescuers. Rescuers Down Under is wonderful, but I also really enjoy that one. More diligent and independent. That also really well explains freaking Bianca. So, yeah. Now I can relate to your characters, and I like that a lot. Let's see. Let's have her little ears. Huh, the last time I drew a chipmunk... Oof, that was it was years ago. 2 years ago. I keep forgetting it's 2018. Yeah, back in 2016... I remember at one point I was drawing a little bit of Chip and Dale. So yeah, that was the last time I drew chipmunks. Oops, I messed with the toolbar. I wish there was a way to lock this program and not adjust the toolbar. I wish. And again, I can always adjust the poses more with any of these pictures as I work. Always let me know. There we go. Let's add in the patterns. There we go. I'm also doing the thing whenever you're trying to draw something and you start imitating the emotion. I'm starting to do that already. I was drawing her smiling, so I start going, yee. So I'm trying to copy the expression. It happens. Okay. Fun fact, when I first designed her, she was originally a squirrel, but changed her to a chipmunk to differentiate her more from Max. I think that's really good. If you're trying to give her more independence, changing her species to be something that's different is really useful. So, yeah. Stuff like that is really cool. I have various trivia like that with my stuff, so yeah. It's really fun to have trivia like that, which is why I'm a big supporter of mistakes are still a good thing, because then you have a story to tell. This isn't a mistake, but like, even if you were to make a mistake on something, or you make a drastic change and it's embarrassing at first, exactly like Max proved, it's actually then really fun to tell people, by the way, this thing happened, and they can go, what? I didn't expect that. And then, yeah. Makes it more interesting, more engaging. So that's good. Okay. She's got little points in the patterns. I have to keep the shading simple, but still implied here. There we go. Let's bring in her shoulders a little bit, because she's in the middle of giggling. I'm thinking of the pose where she has her shoulders up as she's giggling, kind of leaning forward, being all cutesy and chipmunky. Okay, so now let's figure out Maxwell's pose, which actually I saved him for last because he's a little trickier to figure out. I'm not sure specifically what expression I want him to have. I think he'll be smiling in an embarrassed way, unless Max requests differently. He's got a bigger nose, I noticed. Okay. Do. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba da ba da 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 bum ba da 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 do da 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 bum ba da 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 do da 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 bum ba da 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 do 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 da bum ba da dun 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 dun. Maybe someone will recognize that. Bump it up. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. I do not know. I'm still getting acquainted with my mic. Still learning its preferences and where I should be, where I should face, where my face should face. Gonna add those little tiny tufts on the tips of his ears. It's a really bold, a signature detail on him, so I gotta emphasize those. There we go. Come on. Here we go. I'm kind of having the little tiny tufts lean in the opposite directions so that it looks a little more intentional. There we go, and looks a little more fur-like. And less like my line art was going over the line. Trying to make it look natural. Let's see, let's adjust his jawline and his chin. Constantly keeping that fluff. He's got a little bit of a bobcat lynx fur thing going, which I like. That's interesting. Go, gotta have it droop. There we go. A black-tipped squirrel. Okay. I mean, I definitely see that with some of his details. She's a fictional breed of chipmunk. That's actually kind of cool. Stuff like that is fun. You gotta let things be fun. I know some people can be really paranoid or over-analyzing a character trait or a decision in a story. And I think, honestly, the more you can let yourself just go after something that you find really cool, do that. Because if you get really excited, that's going to give you more motivation, and other people are going to be like, finally, someone else did that too. Or they'll be thinking, finally, no one else has done that, and you're the first one. So, that took me a long time to learn in life. That actually, you should be the fan. You should be the first fan of your picture or your story. Let yourself go after what you really enjoy, because you'll enjoy it more. Okay, so figuring out his balls. Okay, got that. I'm making pretty good on time. It's only a few minutes past 10 Central Time, so we still have another hour to go, which is doing good for the request then. Let's make the eye a little bit bigger. Okay. And I'll have one cheek raised because he's kind of, you know, doing that little squished face, embarrassed. Oh, I didn't know. Did that work? The kind of expression that Bernard would make as well when he was trying to woo Bianca, and he usually was too nervous and thought it would fail. But actually, as we, well, can't spoil the story. You'll have to find out by watching The Rescuers and Rescuers Down Under. Okay, let's add some shine. I'll try to stick to the style of shine that you have, Max, just because it'll fit the character trait better, be more recognizable to your character. Let's add the indication of the patterns. Okay, the brown part of his fur ends here from what I see on your character. Okay, so this part in this region is tan. Good to know. Although in real history behind those tufts is that Link's conception, he was originally going to be a hodgepodge of different animals. Okay. So the whole thing of having ears of a lynx and whatnot was incorporated. Gotcha. See, stuff like that's really interesting to say. Not just in conversation, but then also in a character's description or in bonus features. I've definitely been learning that when having a Patreon page. It's actually really useful to have trivia that you can share. That way it's a bit of a reward to people who have taken an interest. So I'm really, really glad to see you have so many details to share, Max. That's good. It's a good thing. Okay, so now he's a bit embarrassed. I might have his nose at an angle because it's going to respond to his mouth. All parts of the face react to each other because they're all attached. So like whenever you smile, it pushes on your cheek. And that cheek then pushes up on your eye. So then it'll cause your eyelid to move. That's one thing to be aware of with faces. Is try to have each part kind of reacting to each other in a bunch of dominoes. I can cover that in a future discussion if that's curious to people. There's a lot of tutorials on that actually too. Okay, there we go, carving my lines to fit. Almost got it, almost got it. Sorry if I make weird expressions. I'm trying to invoke the emotion within me so I can draw it better, you know? Although I recently brought back the animal hodgepodge. Okay, even the concept. Well, I mean, that's a good idea, Max. Again, it reinforces the creativity. You sometimes have a hybrid character and just try it out. I think it's better to experiment with the story as you're coming up with it than trying to force all your details to fit within a certain parameter. I think it's much better to actually try randomly taking out a character or changing their species or changing the time period. I mean, try drastic changes. That can actually lead to a lot of developments. Because here we go. I remembered with Avatar, The Last Airbender, one of my favorite shows ever. In the concept art book that I got, the trivia they mentioned in the first concepts, Momo and Appa were robots. I believe at least one of them was a robot. And Aang had a staff that allowed him to use as a jetpack. It was very sci-fi-esque. And, you know, who would have guessed that that design would then lead to what we have with Avatar: The Last Airbender? So that's, you know, further emphasis that let yourself explore, have fun. Don't get hung up on one detail thinking you have to do it that way. Okay. Having a little trouble with the chest fluff, but we almost got this one done. Just about. Just about got it. Which is good. Making good time then. He's really embarrassed. There we go. Gotta change that eyeball a little bit. He's gotta really look at her. So I gotta slide it over to the left. There we go. Okay, and I gotta have the eyes match, which is the ultimate challenge for most people, myself included. Oh, goodness. And it's already backfiring. When in doubt, redo it. Okay. There we go. That's helping. That's helping. There we go. Okay. change that fluff a little bit on the cheeks. As you pointed out, that's a very key part of his character. Key part of him is to have that fluff, and I was kind of changing it, so I shouldn't. I should also drink water, though. I forgot to ask when I came back if the music is okay. I never change the volume, but sometimes I change my distance from the microphone, and that can change things, so just feel free to let me know that. The mysterious kind of character, he knows who he is. Animal, but soul of a human. Interesting, okay. That does add a lot of complexity then, because a lot of animal movies and shows, animal stories, where they're humanized, they usually don't have humans around unless it's the modern world and they have humans around that way. So it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out, Max. It's cool. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Got it. The chin. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now he is going to have some blush because he's embarrassed of what he just did. Maybe he tried to say a pickup line, and after he said it, she just started laughing and he didn't know if that was a good thing or not, so he just is like, yay? I like that idea. In fact, if he's nervous, I'm going to make some room on the side of his face so I can add some sweat marks. And I think that'll help finalize the picture. Yeah. There we go. He's incredibly nervous. Silly little squirrel. You don't have to be nervous. You're a squirrel. Things are fine. Predators are out looking for you, but things are fine. There we go. Okay, I think I like that. Don't know if I like the mouth here. Come on. That's better. I like that better. Okay. Okay. Now let's add tiny little marks on her nose there because that line is connected. There we go. Okay. I think I've just about got the details done for this. Alrighty. Just cleaning up some of those marks there. I'm having there's a hodgepodge features in like anime. Okay, okay. I mean, that's also an important part when I say experiment, is also play with the style itself. So yeah, if you're thinking of elements from other types of media that you enjoy, try it. Because I've definitely had some of those changes myself. When I can finally get myself back into my webcomic full time, that is also a factor. Because I'm trying to maintain my own style, but let myself experiment at the exact same time, which they kind of sound like opposites, but there's a way to balance it. There's a way to experiment while being consistent. Especially in a webcomic where you then have different poses and different emotions. At one point of the story, if there's like an action scene and people are moving around really fast, that can be an opportunity to quickly try a different art style for like the action pose and go, okay, let me try exaggerating some of the features and see if that helps the mood. I can probably demonstrate that in a future time if that's confusing, but yeah. Okay, there we go. Now let's add a tiny bit of his fur pattern. He's also got a little border, a little cheek line for his fur pattern. There we go. I'm trying to keep the lines very thin because the fur pattern should be a secondary detail when it comes to line art. The main thick lines should be like the face shape and the eyes and the mouth. Meanwhile, the fur patterns, having those lines really thin helps them stand apart. Like with the eyebrows here. I'm probably going to have the eyebrows stay a little thick. There we go. Meanwhile, the fur patterns next to it are going to be very thin, so you can tell them apart. Let's adjust her eyebrow a little bit. Because if she's in the middle of laughing, I really want to emphasize that. There we go. Okay. There we go. I like that. That works. They're a cute little pair. Little bundles of fluff, all cute and stuff. Okay. There we go. I will probably do a tiny bit of cleanup, but we're just about done there. And now moving on to Hikoshi's picture. There we go. Okay, let me save that just to make sure it saves correctly. Okay, just trying to make sure the lines... There we go. Because sometimes I have to go in and correct the line thickness. Because if you spend a picture all zoomed in, you might not realize that parts are uneven. There we go. I like that. Okay, so let me go ahead and save that separate image so that I can have it for Max. 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 Aw, you're welcome, Max. And thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Let me quickly save this as it is. As the Medibang layer. And then let me open the other layer to have cropped. Okay. There we go. And again, I usually send these as a flat image, which you can color over if you do a multiply layer. But if you would prefer a transparent image because you want to do something with it, I can send that as well at your request. It is really freaking easy for me, because all I gotta do is click the transparent button. But for now, I will click the normal PNG file. There we go. Okay, so now I will open another layer for Hikoshi's picture. Hikoshi! Toby! If anyone catches that. Bob, you are a funny, funny man. A funny guy. Very jolly. Very funny. How do I want that green to look? There we go. I don't know why I'm critiquing my green lines. There we go. So now let's look at that image of Ice Cube's album. Not that window. Not that window. Here we go. I need a high-res picture. I want to get the details right. Come on. That's better. That's not better. Oh, that's a... There's some parodies of his album already. Well, now I'm going to add to the internet's parody with this one. Max is saying, yes, please. You would like to see you would like a transparent image? Okay, I can definitely send that. I've saved one already just to have to send. But when I send that to you, I'll then turn off the layer and send the other one in the same process. Okay. So now, since you have this as an album cover, and it's a simple album too, let me go ahead and download that image so I can have it next to the chat. Do-da-do. Come on. Why didn't it save? Did it save? I don't see it in my... Oh, here it is. Here we go. It'll open on screen for you guys. I'm going to make it a tiny bit bigger so I can see it better. Okay. There we go. Now, if I'm correct, is he holding a pipe? Yeah, that looks like he's holding a pipe. Gotcha. Okay. That's a really cool pipe. Huh. Ooh, and we got some drawings people have done too. Cool. Okay. Trying to see if there's a better angle or image of that pipe so I could draw it with higher amounts of accuracy. But I think I got it. I had to get the details right because I need to check myself before I wreck myself. There we go. I think that'll work. I'll have that on screen next to it. Okay, and just to help me get it all lined up, I'm going to go ahead and give it a tiny border. That way I won't go outside the lines, and it'll help me with the layout. There we go. That should help. Actually, probably keep that on its own layer. That way I won't interrupt the border. Okay, so let's see how I want to design the layout. I like having this, there's a big empty space right there for the image where they have the logo. So if I have his ear right here, excuse me, head will arc, wearing a bandana. How am I going to fit the bandana on this fox? Let's see. Still arc up like that. Yeah, I think that works right there. That still looks right. There we go. Okay, and now right about here is where he's holding the pipe. So I need to give myself a little planning size, a little hexagon type thing. And then his hand right here. Would you want any kind of specific title on this, Hikoshi? I know we're going to probably keep The Predator, the album title, because that's the joke of the Fox picture, but if you want something besides Ice Cube, I can change that. Just let me know. I'll probably save that for last, just in case. Okay. And trying to keep this looking like a hand, but also kind of a fox paw to add to the joke. There we go, like that. And conveniently, the lighting on this picture has a lot of shadow, so there's actually a lot of shortcuts I can do where details are hidden and it still looks right. Yeah, I gotta edit this to more like a paw. There we go. Doing a round circle shape, or a little blob that's round, tends to work easier for a paw of any kind of animal, as opposed to trying to draw each of the little paw fingers. Because if you do that, it's going to look more like a hand. It's a lot easier to do the blob shape of a paw, and then draw lines to separate each toe or finger. So that's what I'm doing here. I have this little blob shape, and then I'm going to go in and kind of add in a hint of fingers. That's at least how I've found it to be easiest to keep that animal size, animal shape. Yeah. I'm also going to make sure the knuckles are higher up on the hand because it's a paw. There we go. But again, let me know as I'm drawing this, Hikoshi, if you would like something changed. Because if you catch it early on, that's easier for me to change. If I've already drawn a lot of stuff and then you want a big change, it's going to be a little harder to do. You guys have been good about that. I've been thankful there. Now this one finger is a little different because it's being raised to hold the pipe steady. Actually, might need to change the angle because he's got his thumb holding the edge of the pipe. Yep, gotta hold it like that. So the thumbs arc like that. Got a little bit of that claw. I don't think with this fox you can see the paw pad, the little toe bean, but I can hint it. Just realized, why am I wearing headphones? I'm so used to that by habit. Alright, my skin is flaring up again. Oof. It happens. Okay, that helps. Whew. My head feels all lighter now. Ah. Extra reminder to everyone to drink some water and stretch. Especially if you've been sitting watching this as long as you guys have. You need to stretch. Okay, there we go. I'm going to change the angle of that. I'm not used to wearing hats that often. That was my sister's hat that she bought at the Jacksepticeye concert that we went to. I say concert, it was a show. But yeah, she had enough to buy that as well. And yeah, I'm actually kind of jealous. I actually like those hats. So I might get one of those in the future. It's got a little Jacksepticeye pin on it too. Got the green color and a little pin. Can you guys see that in frame? Let me check. Yeah, you guys can see it, especially with this camera. See, you got a little Sam, little Jacksepticeye logo. I love it. Yes, alarm. Thank you. Okay. Back to the image. All right. Got to add a little bit more emphasis that it's a paw, but we got it. Okay. Making sure that side fluff is visible. That's really cool lighting. Okay. Again, let me know the title, Hikoshi, because I want to make sure I get that to your liking. We'll obviously be keeping the Predator. That's the obvious punchline of the picture, but let me know if you want me to change the main title. I also want to scroll through the thing just in case you've already said it. Don't believe so. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. Okay, and the internet connection's good. There we go. So there's not much of the ear showing, but I think I can imply that it's a fox pretty easily. So I'm trying to emphasize the decline in shape, so that's like a triangle. A little bit of a ridge here, and actually, since it's so close up, I actually have a lot of room for emphasizing all the little tiny hairs. So it's actually a really detailed image. I can focus all my attention on that. Now I need to find a way to emphasize the nose, even though foxes have a long snout. Okay, I might have to cheat a little bit. Let's see. Yeah. Really having to do some problem solving here, because the angle in which Ice Cube is facing while he took this photo, if I put the fox at the exact same angle, you can't see his nose. And that's kind of distracting for a fox. You can't really tell the muzzle looks right if you crop off the nose. So I'm trying to find an angle that still looks right. And I need to put the smoke that he has, which is a really powerful effect. I need to really... Okay. Also curious, Hikoshi, when you get back, I'm assuming you're lurking right now and waiting to hear my voice as I'm talking to you, Hikoshi. If you would like this to be a human skull on the pipe, or if you would like a fox skull, because that could further emphasize the parody of a fox instead of a person. Okay, there's not this pipe's a really small pipe. It's really cool too. Got a little bit of a ridge there for the mouthpiece. I'm assuming this is where the mouthpiece is. It's really hard to tell by the lighting, but I think it's right there. It's both a really cool image, but really hard to draw from because of the lighting. Okay. Can at least get the border down. Alright. There we go. It's kind of at an angle because it looks like it's the shape of a coffin, hence the skull. So I need to emphasize that shape a little bit. Cool. Now a little bit of his shoulders right here. Might be able to raise him a tiny bit on the page. There we go. As long as I keep that corner at the top. As long as I show that little tiny indent. It's such a small detail, but doing that emphasizes that he has the edge of his ear. And that's really emphasizing it's a fox. There are a few tiny details in here that I have to keep no matter what, because then it's obvious it's a fox. Let's see if I can lower that nose a little bit. That also might help. Don't know if we're going to need to show much of his mouth, but we can try. There we go. Because a lot of it's going to be covered up by the smoke, and that's actually going to be its own layer, because I want to make sure that I get the smoke correctly. Oof. Yeah, that's going to be... Ooh, this is fun. It's reminding me a lot of Cowboy Bebop. That was one of my favorite, well, my favorite anime, but also one of my favorite examples of style. Because even though it's anime, it kind of stands out on its own because they do so many interesting things with their animation. Similar to the weird things that Trigger does with, like, Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. I always admire that a whole lot because it takes guts. You know, you got to really push yourself, especially if they're in a studio. There's a lot of art directors that got to make that call and really stick to it of like, no, this is the style. We have to try this. You know, it's a bit of a risk, but to me, that's the coolest thing. Is when they actually experiment, because then it makes them stand out. So if you ever feel like you're doing something really weird in your art and you're like, ah, I wish I could do it like other people, it's actually really good that you have your own art style standing out, because that'll help you be recognized. People will recognize it as your art. So, okay, I'm trying a few more. I'm kind of having to do a stylized version of the smoke because they have so many subtleties, and I need this to be recognizable. And some of it is the lighting. Again, the coolest thing about this album cover is also the hardest part to draw from. Such complicated lighting. Trying to add a few more puffs of smoke. I'm trying to make sure it looks like smoke. There we go. I might redraw this a couple times because I'm really trying to get it right. Also, I'm going to refresh my page just in case. Just in case. Make sure the chat and video are all ready. There we go. Okay, they're good. Still waiting on that reply, Hikoshi. I gotta get the title right. I'm almost there. And actually, we're winding down on the stream, too. We managed to go for 2 hours and 46 minutes at this point. It is 10:48 Central Time. And my usual cutoff is 11. So hopefully you're able to show up, Hikoshi, because I need to get those last few details for your picture. I'm not as good at reading minds. I'm working on it. But, you know, I'm kind of rusty. I skipped class in mind reading, you know. I forgot to level up my Kadabra, and my psychic powers aren't quite what they should be. Okay. It's the first Pokemon that came to my mind. Aww. Well, I actually kind of agree there, Hattie. When the streams end, it is kind of sad. I personally would love to stream every single day. It's hard to find time. Especially since my family likes to be active. We like to talk and hang out a lot. So I have to find time. I have to plan with them. And yeah, I'm really happy to hear that, Hattie. That's really, really comforting to hear. Because I really enjoy these. If you guys are enjoying them too, then I'm going to try to find more ways to do this more often. There's a few hidden details on his bandana. I'm going to try and hint them without making this too complicated. And the last phase of this will be the logo and some of the cross-hatching to add in shadows. Because that's going to be a really heavy defining feature on this picture. It's also why doing broken lines that don't connect actually become really useful, because you're hinting at things. I'm creating a bright light by slowly taking away these lines and making them thinner. It's now creating an illusion that there's bright light. It's creating the illusion that all of these patterns are there, but that they're slowly becoming less visible, which is actually really tricky to do. But in the final version, it'll look like that bandana has all of the patterns, but it's going blurry. Have I considered having my sister on the streams? That's a good question. Well, she has her own endeavors and like creative stuff she does. She's really into making music videos and video editing in general. She's really good at. I'd have to bring it up with her. That's at her pace, and I know she has a lot to do, and I don't want to impose on her. So I'll have to see what she thinks of that. We've talked about starting a other little projects together, so I'll need to see what she thinks of that. It's been a while. I'm glad you mentioned that, Cody, because I would like to try that. I am trying to expand and experiment with this channel. Once I can get my videos to upload easier, I want to also try doing episodes that stand alone on, like, as I post them as normal videos. I want to try that as well, because yeah, it's something on my mind. It's something to try and, you know, find out if something might accidentally be amazing, and then I like stick to it. I won't stop the streams, don't worry. These are really fun. Drawings. Okay, good. You've seen some of her drawings. Yay! I'm really happy to hear that. I'll let her know that you mentioned that. Words. What are words? But yeah, I'll definitely let her know that. She's in the middle of like figuring a lot of stuff out, which I can relate to. So I'll keep you guys posted. That's why I'm always keeping multiple projects going at once too, because the whole don't put all your eggs in one basket, or don't count your chickens before they hatch. They are just chickens. They are not organized. Apart from you, they're the most stupidest creature on this planet. They don't scheme. Anyway, another movie quote. Yeah, I try to keep multiple things going at once so that if, like, say my internet goes weird, I don't have to worry about all things being prevented, because I can still upload pictures and I can still use my phone to do some of the activity. Having multiple things at once takes the pressure off of each one, because if one goes wrong, you still have the others. Some of this may be obvious. I'm just kind of vocalizing what I think. I've noticed that's kind of the process when giving commentary. I'm trying to keep you guys on page with how my mind goes as I draw. Because clearly my mind thinks about a lot of stuff. Whether it be about the art or another random topic. Okay. I'm going to add a little hint there. Another shout out to you, Hikoshi. I'm going to say that every couple minutes just to get your attention if you're lurking. Because I need to get the last details on your picture. It's kind of hard to do the last details if you can't give me the information. There we go. Alright. Now, if I've got that pose there, and we've got the smoke, I think I'm liking the smoke. It's been kind of tricky to figure all these out, but... Oh, I put them on different layers. Well, oh well. Yeah, I'm going to keep one line like that. There we go. When doing smoke, I don't want to have any straight lines, because smoke moves in curves. It flows. It doesn't move in a straight line. So I'm trying to emphasize that. I like it. I like it. It works. I'm trying to make it not look like a mustache. Okay, so now I'll merge that down, create another layer for the title. I know I can put down the Predator. I can do that right now. Let's see if I find a text that works, actually. Normally I would handwrite this, but it might actually help if I... No, you know what? You know what? I think the style is going to look better if I do it all by hand. I can keep it. I'll just keep my brush thick enough so I can do a shortcut with the text. There we go. I'm curious, chat, which do you guys prefer? Me having music in the background, or having the nature sounds that I did on the previous stream? Do you guys have a preference there? I'm curious. I kind of like both. Because for me, the nature sounds are very relaxing, and they get me to slow down and talk in a very chill manner. I pace myself easier. It's very relaxed and calm. Ah, I'm happy to hear that, Cody. I was a little surprised. You also prefer the nature sounds. The music is fun, and just a little bit of trivia, this is what I listen to whenever I'm working on my normal art each day. Most of my days consist of closing my door, sitting down to work on commissions or art raffles, and then I am just listening to this music, this channel. That's why I'm always playing it during stream. But I'm really glad to hear that you guys like the nature sounds. Everyone else is willing to, is open to words. I am interested in more opinions. If you guys also like the nature sounds or you prefer this music, let me know. Because I'm trying to also tailor to what you guys are interested in. I like both, so. They each have their pros and cons. The only downside to nature might be that it is too relaxing for me, and I tend to get a little sleepy. Which, if that makes me slow down so that I pace myself, that might actually be a good thing. There we go. I've got the subtitle, The Predator. Okay. Let me go ahead and add in the shading now. I'm going to do a stylized version of the shading, but it'll work. Bit of cross-hatching here. Let's see if I want to do that, or actually I have another idea that's more cel-shaded like. Ooh, I remember this song. I love this song. Good. Good. Like I said, one of my favorite things when listening to a channel that plays 24-hour music is every once in a while they play something I remember. To me, that's just, it's so fun. It's like seeing an old friend. It's like, oh yeah, I love that movie. That kind of thing. So I'm going to lower the opacity on the background shadows just so that it's easier for me to see it next to the line art. You guys can notice there. I don't think I would fall asleep during a stream, but also my body might meet that challenge, and I have dozed. I will go ahead and admit it. I have dozed. Especially during the really long streams with Jack and Sil, where we're constantly rambling with each other. I get super sleepy. I'm just gonna come out and say it. You guys can hold that as blackmail to me. It's all okay. Because it's true. The rumor come out. Pen does doze during stream. That was a tongue tangler. There we go. I've got that. Okay, it is on its own layer. Good. Now I'm going to add some of the cross-hatching here too. Ooh. Sounding like 80s music. I like that. Interesting. Okay. A little bit there. Come on, Hikoshi! We're waiting for you! We need that input on the title so I can get your picture correct. Yeah, I need it. If you are lurking, come on, Hikoshi. 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 Come on, Hikoshi. Otherwise, the picture will be incomplete. And that would be a sad thing. Come on, Hikoshi. Need those details. It's kind of a big part with these requests. I need the person to be here. Kind of defeats the point. I know internet troubles can be a thing. I understand that. So there's no pressure if it's your internet. Or just daily life. I know firsthand I said my family is very active with me, so if you guys have an active schedule happening and you're suddenly cut off from the stream, I understand. Haha! Fox in the Fedora. Street Foxes, that's what I was going to call you. Welcome! I'm glad you made it. I forgot to tell you last time. I don't know if I messaged it in Twitter either. But not only did I follow you, but also I did watch the tail end of your stream you did when you played Fortnite. I did watch it. I think it was like a month ago at least. But I did watch a little bit of that. It was really fun. I'm glad you were able to make it. We're right at the tail end, but you didn't catch it. Rather, you didn't miss it. You did catch it. I don't know what words are. I just draw the things. But yeah, we're almost done with this picture. Just waiting on Hikoshi to come back. Hikoshi, come back. Gotta finish your picture. Hikoshi, come back. Gotta pop in and plug it. Oh, you don't have to do the shout out. Appreciate that. Yeah, I want to watch more streams. It's been so weird trying to juggle my life schedule, especially as I mentioned in my update video. Things got very chaotic here because just recently my cat passed away, and that got me really out of it. I really miss that guy. I've shown you guys him a couple times, Lance. He lived a good life. I miss that baby. Miss that kitty. Yeah, we just about got this done. Just about. I'm going to add a couple more details. I might actually leave the shadows like this. Thank you, Street Fox. Yeah. It's a little weird to get used to. We have always had animals in the house, so this is the first time we don't have any animals. It's very unnerving. I'm looking forward to when we get our next pet, which I think is going to be this month, pretty soon. You've done the cat calculations of what their age would be? 83. Good job, Lance. Yeah, he was 17. Lived a good life. Good baby. And actually, he lived really healthy up to the end. He was a rambunctious troublemaker. I'm lucky I knew him. Good baby cat. Good 17-year-old baby cat. I just have that habit. I think all of our family does. We just call all cats babies. Just do. They're our little children. Okay. Just about got that. Well, we are at the tail end of the stream. No pun intended. Okay. Partial pun intended. Especially as Jess has called me PenMark. I guess I could kind of incorporate that. I feel like if I embrace the term PenMark, then I'm going to need, it's going to be on the spot. I'm going to need to come up with more puns. I can't do that. I can only draw. Everything else is random, you know? Even my eating and breathing. I'm just a drawer, you know? But yeah, I guess Hikoshi lost internet connection or is really busy with something. But we almost finished this picture. We're just waiting on that last detail, because right now it's just the Predator. There's not even the main title, where it's got a cool font distortion. I can't even finalize it there. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I didn't finish the picture. You guys can shame me. Hashtag blame pin. I love that was like a very early on joke, and yet everyone still remembers it. There's Hikoshi! I was wondering where you were. We were worried. We thought your internet died. Or that someone stole your device. Glad you made it. We were going to ask on what should the title be here? Do you want it to stay Ice Cube? Or would you like something else? And then also, do you want a logo here besides a human skull? Would you like a fox skull? Because that could add to the vibe here. You waited an hour. Waited an hour for what? I'm curious. Don't know what you mean by waited an hour. I know plans could be a little tricky, but yeah. A fox skull. Good to know. Okay. I can narrow it down there. It's really important that I have the person during the stream itself while working on the picture, because otherwise it's a little tricky for me to get the details right if the person's not here. So I understand internet connection, but it's important to stay during the request, otherwise I can't get the details right. Yep, he's a fox skull. He's an edgy fox, yo. And you know, just to get some extra detail, let's double check the specifics of a fox skull. Okay, okay. Ooh, got some good angles here. Alright, I like that. And good. Good to hear that you want to keep the title Ice Cube. That definitely saves me some time. I know a fox skull is scary. It's a really cool pipe, though. I'm really glad to draw that. So, I'm going to probably draw the eyes first, because that'll help me center everything else. There we go. Okay. Fill those in black, but with a tiny bit of shine remaining. That is one detail I'm noticing on his pipe. Listen to it. Listen to It Was a Good Day? Alright. Get some music suggestions in here. I had to hear it. Also, still curious what you meant, Hikoshi, when you said you waited an hour. You waited an hour for your plans? I don't know if you're in the middle of, like, if you're in public doing transit and all of that, I can understand that. I know a lot of people are on the go as well. In fact, I think my friend Luna does that all the time, where she's messaging people while she's out and about. I can understand that. Some people got busy days. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about Far Cry 5. Didn't want to keep watching while you're working. No, that's exactly what I do want. I definitely want people to be in the room as I work, because that way I can get your feedback. Plus, you get to take part in the stream. It's the whole point of a stream. I want to have you here as I work. I can understand multitasking. I have done that a lot. But I still would prefer if someone's in the room listening, because it comes more of like a podcast that you listen to while you do something else. That way, if I still need to get a hold of someone, you can still hear me. You know, it's a little bit of a balancing act. Because that way, could have saved time too. There we go. And I can now finally add, I'm going to probably do something to emphasize this is a fox skull. Just to add the cool vibe to it, I think, if you're okay with this, I'm going to cheat and add a little bit of emphasis on the ears on this fox skull. So that we really emphasize... There we go. Yeah, there we go. It's a really cool pipe. I wonder if he had it custom made or he just found it somewhere. There we go. Trying to match a balance of what it looks like, but also these alterations. Especially how much I'm doing this on the fly. Oh, okay. Been playing a lot of live stream and a lot of Far Cry in live streams. Cool. So what is your review of it so far, Street Fox? I'm curious. I usually am it's rare when I'm able to play games. So I would yeah, I'm always really curious to hear what people are thinking about the latest game, so that way I can like keep that in mind when I'm looking for a game to get. Because then I can narrow it down instead of guessing. Because, boy, my time has been limited lately. It's been good, but boy, it's been limited. Ooh, burp number 74. Okay, do a little bit of indent on the eyebrows there. There we go. Probably got a little bit of a crack in the skull to really emphasize that skull there. It is Breath of the Wild with guns. Something new and interesting at every corner, and the only repetition are the enemies that are easy, medium, and hard. That could be really relaxing to play then. I could really, really dig that. It does depend on the mood, you know? Sometimes you're in the mood for really chill, mindless gameplay to just explore and see what's there. There's actually something to be said for that. I really enjoy those games. Though I understand also when people are really craving a plot. Is there much of a plot in that game, Street Fox? Koshi talking about hot queens? That's welcome here. What kind of queen are we talking about? Ah, I'm getting the signal from my family. We have hit 11 o'clock. Ah, we've gone a tiny bit over. Okay, so let me go ahead and add in the Ice Cube title. And I've got an idea for that to make that cool effect. I'm gonna do ice. There we go. Whoops. Let's only do this part first, so I can fit it in and imitate the style he has. Ice. Thin the line a little bit. I see the chat updated. Let me look at that. It's only relaxing if you're clearing a zone. If not, the moment you start into the game, the villains are relentless. Okay, okay. So it's a nice balance. That's actually better than... I like hearing that you can explore, but there is a story going on. Still going to watch to the end, but good night. Oh, thank you, Cody. Good night. Good night call to all. I am going to go to the very end here, because I just want to finish these details and then send off the pictures correctly. There we go. Now the idea I have in mind to add this cool effect that Ice Cube has, I'm going to add a black box behind it. Lower that opacity a little bit. And now half of it will be blocked out. Actually, ooh, how can I do this? There's multiple ways. Let's take that selected part and do an inverse. Does it work? It does! Okay, good. And now with the text, I'm going to do the same thing. Take all of this part. Let's get it right. Almost got it. Gotta get it right. Right on the edge. There we go. And now this will also be inverted. Inverse. Okay. So right now it's a little confusing because you're like, where did half of it go? I don't see it. So now I can add in the shading we have up here. Some of it's where... Oh, it's because it was in front of and not behind. There we go. That worked. I'm saying, yes, there is a plot. Oh, there's a cult. Ah, okay. I thought the trailers suggested a cult. It sure looked like it. Glad I have confirmation from you there. Okay. Cool. Probably a lot of mystery that could happen in that plot, so cool. There we go. I'm doing just enough cross-hatching behind it so you can still see the logo. There we go. Yeah. Some really cool lighting in this album. Got a good photographer for that. It's really cool. And especially thinking about like how many tries they may have done with this photo. Because they got the smoke just right too. So they may have had a camera that was on fast shutter. Or they just went, okay, start smoking that pipe and I'll just take a bunch of pictures. That way with a normal camera, who knows? It's always cool for me when I hear that trivia of how they did it. Customize your character. Instead of just random person, you get to be the person. Don't give away spoilers. Yeah, that's a good teaser. That's not giving away too much. I'm actually kind of random with spoilers. Sometimes I'm like, don't tell me, but other times I'm like, I don't care. You know, I think I actually kind of like a mix. There we go. Now let's bump that up. Yeah, there we go. Now, is that just the text? Yes. So now I can cut out the black box that is behind the text. There we go. And now I have that effect. Cool. Oh, and I love this song that's playing as well, so that's a celebration. Now I will probably raise the opacity of this. There we go. Right as I get to it. There we go. Now let's add a little bit of that shadow on the pipe now that we're finished with the pipe. Got all those details on it. All right. This is a fun picture with all that shading. It forced me to be creative in a short amount of time too, because I couldn't do all the blending and textures that I normally want to do. I had to be creative. That's the good part of having a challenge to yourself every once in a while. Find a way to challenge yourself in a not too stressful way. Thank you, Akoshi. Glad to hear you like it. I definitely enjoyed doing all this shading. It's a really cool picture. Just trying to get it right. Now let's bump up the... Ooh, there we go. Starting to bump up the opacity. And that helps. Through over Twitter. Okay, that can work too. I have multiple ways to be contacted, so that method for both sending references and receiving pictures. As long as you have something to contact me on. Ooh, I can tell my computer's battery is running low. Doing this is starting to run it low. The mouse isn't moving as well. Well, it's a good thing it's almost over. So let's have that there. I think it's better if I fill this. It's a little distracting if I have too much shading. And if I save the shading and cross-hatching for only his face and arm, it makes him stand out better. There we go. Alrighty. Clean this up a bit. Alright. Thank you, Street Fox. I'm really happy to hear that. Because I know when it comes to doing pictures very impromptu, on the fly, without really any planning, it forces me to just make a decision and stick to it without really much room for error. So, yeah, this is a good test for me. Okay, I think that lighting will work best. Let me go ahead and save it during the stream so that I don't run into any problems. I will save and then export it. So PNG, Max and Hattie's, now Hikoshi's. Okay. Hikoshi as a PNG. There we go. And now I will also save this back as its original image, just so that I have in the folder. Place that. Yes, computer. Close that one. Open the image. Should have it in recent. And now let me go ahead and crop it. That will save me an extra step after I've ended the stream. So I hope you all have enjoyed this one so far. We went to the 3-hour mark. We made it work. Okay, get to the crop button. Ooh, it's looking like a Polaroid picture here. I like that. Go ahead and save it. Keep it like that. And I remember, Max, you were asking for a transparent image as well. So let me go ahead and open that real quick. Max, PNG. I'll have to open the original one to get that transparent one. So we've got these. Come on, image. Max's layer is here. Let's go ahead and save that as a transparent. So I'll type Max TSP transparent. I'll know what I mean. Transparent. There we go. Alrighty, we got that done. Got a lot done today. And I had to do all the talking myself since my buddies are still out doing things, but it worked out. It worked out for now. And Max showed up right on time. Yeah, you got right back as I'm finishing the stream, and I got the... You just got back? Okay, okay. Yeah, I understand when people have plans, or you need to quickly do an errand, or you need to use the restroom. That's always fine. But always let people know before you leave the stream, because otherwise it can leave an artist kind of on the spot trying to finish a picture and needs feedback. Because that is one of the requirements I want to have here, is that you need to be present as I do the picture. Because otherwise it makes it really difficult and kind of defeats the point of this live streaming process. So, appreciate you guys showing up. I will send all these. Now that I've saved them all, it'll be easy to quickly send. I'm going to go ahead and open Max's transparent one and crop it, since it's still on my mind. Because that's the definite good thing about live streaming, is that it keeps you on track because people are watching. Okay, save that. Transparent. Oh, I understand that, Max. Don't worry about that, being really busy. That's why I try to find a way of, you know, you letting me know things while I'm doing everything else. You gotta be here for the bunny. It's true. Alrighty, guys, so that is it for this live stream. We hit the 3-hour mark, 3:20 actually. Add one more and it'd be even better. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I managed to ramble for 3 hours as I drew. Hope you guys enjoyed the art as well as all my rambling. If you guys have more suggestions on activities we should do, and if you guys like the music, or would prefer nature sounds or some other background sound, we can try that as well, because I like to keep it varied and tailor to what you guys find entertaining, while still being something that I want to do. So yeah. And be sure to message me if you guys ever have suggestions of what I should do in future streams. That is okay too. I have a link below for Patreon if you guys are interested in supporting me on Patreon, because I do art raffles like the diva picture you saw before. Even for just $1, you can get into my art raffles and private lessons. And I'm doing those every week. So there's a lot of opportunities there to get more one-on-one time and learn how I do things. And support me if you would want to, because I would really, really appreciate that. So I'm going to get the link for that. And that is the end of this stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys can last during my 3-hour streams on Saturdays. I hear the message, so let me quickly send the message here. That is my Patreon. If you would like to support me, get weekly art raffle pictures, and watch me do lessons on any topic you'd like to hear about in art. So, appreciate it, everyone. That's the end of the stream, because I need to go to bed. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. The next planned one is Tuesday with Jack, assuming he has energy after his plans. So I'll see you all then. Thank you for showing up, everybody. I will send those pictures. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.